Welcome to Dharma in Motion, the journey of mindfulness in a busy life. This is where we take a slower step together, listen to the Buddha's teachings, and transform ancient wisdom into gentle footsteps within the rhythm of modern living. The channel was created with the intention of accompanying middle-aged and elderly friends, those who have gone through many changes in life, so that at this stage, we no longer worry too much, but choose peace as a way of living. Today, we begin the series, Don't Overthink. Listen to this teaching of the Buddha, and you will know how to live a peaceful life. Perhaps all of us have experienced nights lying awake, listening to the rain outside, feeling a heaviness on the chest, eyes sunken, mind replaying old stories again and again. The more we think, the more tangled it gets. The more we worry, the more we fear. And when morning comes, we feel exhausted without knowing why. The Buddha taught that the mind is the root of suffering. What happens is only one part. The rest, and the decisive part, lies in how we perceive it. A situation may be just a speck of dust in the wind, but if we hold on to it, it becomes a stone in the heart. Whether rich or poor, holding high or low status, none guarantees peace. What truly matters is whether the mind knows when to stop and let go. The most beautiful image to understand this is that of a lake. When the wind of delusion blows, the water ripples and we cannot see the sky. Only when the wind ceases and the water calms does the moon appear. Likewise, when the mind is still, wisdom naturally arises and true happiness manifests. Life is short. Often by the time we understand something, our hair has already turned gray. By the time we realize that what once worried us no longer matters, old resentments now evoke only compassion. The river water that flows past will not return. Yet we keep clinging to what has already gone, and thus we suffer. We often think that to find peace, we must change everything around us, forgetting that by changing our own mind, the whole world changes. Some sadness doesn't need to be solved, only released. Some matters don't need to be analyzed, only let be. Let be here doesn't mean giving up or neglecting, but releasing the stubborn wish for everything to go our way. When we can let be, the heart lightens, the mind clears, and peace comes naturally, like the fragrance of lotus drifting in the morning breeze. Between the ages of 40 and 70, many have devoted themselves to family, children, parents, and careers, so the habit of holding everything in easily arises. Today, with the constant ring of phones, messages, social media, and work piling up, the mind becomes crowded with noise. Eating while worrying, resting while thinking, leaving the body tired and the heart heavy without knowing why. The Buddha taught that dwelling in the present moment is the key to peace. The wise neither mourn the past nor worry about the future, but live fully in the moment. It sounds simple, yet in our hurried lives, few remember how to sit still, breathe deeply, and listen within. Where to begin? With the breath. The breath is the bridge between body and mind, a fine yet strong thread that leads us home. When the breath is hurried, the mind is restless. When the breath is gentle, the mind is calm. Meditation is not something lofty meant only for monks. It is the art of living slowly and consciously, perfectly suited to the rhythm of middle age. Upon waking in the morning, before touching the phone, sit quietly for 5 minutes. Breathe in, knowing you are breathing in. Breathe out, knowing you are breathing out. At first, the mind will wander, pulled by chores and duties. It's fine. Gently guide it back to the breath, like grandparents softly leading a child back home. Gradually, those 5 peaceful minutes will become the most precious time of the day. How to apply this in daily life? When walking in the park, you don't need to count steps. Just feel your feet touch the ground, listen to the birds, smell the damp leaves. That is meditation. When drinking tea, don't scroll through news. Feel the warmth of the cup in your hands, the aroma rising to your nose, the sip flowing down your throat with gratitude. That too is meditation. When washing dishes, know that you are washing dishes. The water running over your hands, the bubbles glistening under the sunlight, that alone brings stillness. When angry, know that you are angry. When sad, know that you are sad. Just observe. Don't rush to push it away. Let the mind settle like a lake after the wind. From that awareness, half of the negative energy fades. A mindful person is like bamboo. When the wind blows, it bends. When the wind passes, it stands again, soft yet unbroken. For elders, mindfulness also harmonizes the body. Steady breath, balanced heartbeat, deeper sleep, clearer memory. These benefits need no distant promises. Just 5 to 10 minutes of steady practice each day makes a difference. When the mind is fully present, we truly live, not merely exist. Each step is a smile, each breath a gift. The second step is to let go rightly. For years, we thought holding tightly was love. Yet holding a hot cup of tea, the tighter we grip, the more it burns. Letting go is not weakness, it is wisdom. Let go of the notion that everything must go our way. Let go of the self that wants to control all. Let go of the question, why did they do that to me? And return to, what wholesome thing can I do in this moment? The strong are not those who never cry, but those who dare to put down the burden once it hurts enough. In the sutra, the Buddha taught, do not grieve over the past, nor worry about the future. This does not advise indifference, but teaches wise discernment of what to care about and when. Today, we can tidy a corner of the house, call a loved one, go for a health checkup, take a deep breath, smile gently. All of that is practice. When busy with chores, we can still remember a small Buddha's name, like a light thread keeping the mind from drifting. When rushing through traffic, we can pause for 3 breaths at a red light to slow the heartbeat. When weary, close the eyes a moment, place a hand on the chest. Feel the heart still beating, grateful that we still breathe, live, and love. The third step is to know sufficiency and gratitude. Happiness doesn't come from what we lack, but blossoms from what we have. A simple home, a modest meal, a child's laughter, a pain-free morning, when seen through the light of gratitude, all become precious gifts. The one who knows enough is the richest, not rich in money, but in peaceful moments. The poorest is the one who always feels something missing. How much is enough? Gratitude is like the morning sun cutting through the mist of doubt, melting away the subtle comparisons within, leaving the heart light. How to practice? Each morning, place your palms together and whisper, thank you for this new day. Thank you that I can still breathe, that there are still people to love. Before meals, silently thank the one who grew the food, the one who cooked, and these very hands. At night, ask yourself, have I lived fully today, smiled, spoken kindly, let go of what wasn't needed? Such gentle questions bring us home, away from the noise of the world. And remember, happiness is neither given nor taken by anyone. It is the result of small but consistent practice. From here, the path of this series will delve into 3 main streams: stopping the habit of overthinking to dwell in the present moment, the art of letting go for inner freedom, and cultivating gratitude and contentment for lasting peace. Each part is a small step, seamlessly connected into one coherent journey. Simple, easy to record, easy to listen to, and easy to practice. In the next section, we will share a very ordinary story about a clock out of rhythm and a heart filled with worries. To realize that suffering doesn't lie in the ticking sound, but in how we listen to it. Let us continue with Dharma in Motion, where each breath, each story, and each gentle lesson guides us back to what everyone seeks, a life of peace, wholeness, and lightness. There is a little story I love about a woman named Mrs. Han. She lived alone in a small house on the outskirts of town. The house was quiet, with only birdsong and the ticking of a wall clock each day. But one morning that clock began to run irregularly. Its ticking was no longer steady, sometimes fast, sometimes slow. And it made her uneasy. She tried changing the battery, adjusting the hands, but the strange ticking continued, echoing through the quiet house like an obsession. Every time she heard it, her chest tightened and her mind grew restless. One day, her nephew came to visit. After hearing her complaints, he smiled and said, "Grandma, it's not the clock that makes you suffer. It's your mind clinging to its sound." Mrs. Han was startled. All this time she had thought the ticking was the cause of her discomfort, not realizing that her own mind was creating the unease. That night, she sat quietly, listening to the clock without trying to stop it. The ticking continued, but something changed. She no longer felt irritated. It was just there, like the sound of rain or the whisper of wind. The suffering was gone, though the clock still ticked. Through this story, we see clearly the Buddha's teaching. Suffering does not arise from things, but from the way we react to them. A sound, a word, a glance, they are merely small phenomena, but when the mind clings, they become stones tied to the heart. When we stop and observe, those stones become lighter, even dissolve. In life, many times we suffer from a careless word, an imperfect event, or a vague worry. In truth, these are just offbeat clock ticks of the mind. If we observe them, they lose their power over our emotions. The Buddha once taught, when an arrow strikes you, you feel pain, but when you become angry, you shoot a second arrow at yourself. We cannot avoid the first arrow. It is life's reality, impermanence itself. But the second arrow, we shoot ourselves through overthinking, wounding the mind again. The first arrow hurts for a moment, the second can hurt for a lifetime. Learning to stop before firing the second arrow is the art of mindful living. Someone may ask, but how can I not think? I'm not made of stone. True, everyone thinks. The difference is in knowing that we are thinking. When we recognize, I'm worrying, that very recognition is the light of mindfulness. The mind is like the sky, and thoughts are clouds. Don't try to chase the clouds away. Just sit still. They will drift off on their own, and the sky will clear again. Today, people live in an ocean of thoughts wider than ever. Each morning when we pick up our phones, we read dozens of news stories, hear countless voices, see endless images, each planting a seed in the mind. If we don't choose carefully, the mind quickly overloads. We are not tired because of too much work, but because our minds are too crowded. Like a computer running too many apps, it heats up, slows down, and crashes. The mind is the same. Too many tabs open and confusion follows. The Buddha taught that when the mind is still, wisdom arises. But wisdom cannot emerge amidst noise. To see the path, the lake must be calm. To see our heart clearly, the mind must rest. So instead of thinking, how can I stop suffering? Pause, breathe deeply, and listen within. When the mind is calm, the answer comes naturally, like the moon appearing when clouds part. From Mrs. Han's story, we can practice something simple. Whenever the mind gets caught in small things, someone's careless words, an unmet desire, or an annoying sound, pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, is this really worth my suffering? 9 times out of 10, the answer will be no. A wise person is not one who avoids all storms, but one who keeps the boat steady amidst them. The waves remain, but the sailor has changed. When we can adjust the rhythm of our mind, life naturally becomes peaceful. Sometimes what we need is not to change the world, but to change how we listen and see. The clock still ticks, but the listener has changed. And just like that, the world changes. In life, there are things that no matter how much we think, the result will not change. There are people who, no matter how much we explain, will never truly understand us. And there are things that the more we try to control, the more we feel out of control. At such times, the Buddha's teaching of let it be is not an attitude of indifference, but a wisdom of release. Many people misunderstand let it be, thinking it means giving up or not caring. In truth, let it be is not apathy, but letting go in awareness. We do not give up. We simply stop trying to change what is beyond our control. Let it be means accepting reality without resistance. When we let it be, our mind stops struggling, stops wrestling, and suffering ceases. Someone once asked, if everyone let it be, wouldn't the world stop moving? No. Let it be does not stop the world. It keeps our hearts from being swept away by it. Those who understand let it be don't abandon work or people. They only abandon attachment. They still act, still love, still live wholeheartedly, but are no longer bound by outcomes. Like a gardener tending flowers, they still water, still fertilize, still protect from the sun, but know that blooming or withering depends on conditions. They do their part with loving kindness, then let the rest be. That is the spirit of wisdom. In the Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha taught, when one knows how to stop, wisdom arises. This stop is letting it be. Jace, stop the urge to win and lose. Stop comparing, stop the need to prove. For when we try to prove ourselves, we lose our peace. The wise do not argue, the awakened do not compete. They understand. To win an argument is to lose oneself. In daily life, let it be can be practiced through the smallest acts. When someone speaks harshly, let it be. When misunderstood, let it be. When things don't go as planned, let it be. Not because we don't see, but because we choose not to react. The more we react, the more the mind wavers. Like a lake, the more stones we throw, the longer it stays unsettled. A person who knows let it be is not weak, but someone with the strength to control the inner mind. Letting go is an act of courage, because only those strong enough dare to put the burden down. Like someone holding a bundle of burning firewood, to end the pain, one must release it. The tighter the grip, the more it burns. When letting go, the hands sting, but they will heal. There is a beautiful saying, letting it be is not forgetting, but forgiving. It is not leaving, but moving on. Life is impermanent. Everything is changing. If we keep trying to force everything to go our way, we will only invite suffering. But if we can smile and say the two words, let it be, everything will feel much lighter. Practicing let it be in daily life does not mean silently enduring. When something needs to be said, we still speak, but speak calmly. When something needs to be done, we still do, but do it mindfully. Let it be is the mind that acts without attachment. A Zen master once said, peace does not come from living in a tranquil life, but from the ability to keep the mind calm amid life's waves. When we let it be, we are no longer swept away by the waves. The waves remain, but we stand firm. In today's era, we are easily swept into social media, news, and gossip. Someone says one sentence and we think about it for days. A small matter we turn into a big worry. That is because we do not know how to let it be. If each time we feel the mind about to surge, we pause, breathe deeply, smile, and say, let it be, it's okay, the mind will naturally soften. Letting it be does not make us lose enthusiasm. It helps us work in serenity. When we can let one thing be, we free ourselves from a portion of suffering. When we can let one person be, we set down a burden. And when we can let our very self be, stop blaming, stop forcing, stop craving, we are truly free. If there is something worth remembering from today's teaching of the Buddha, please remember, the wise do not need to win, The intelligent do not need to outdo. The one who understands the Dharma does not need to prove. Everything we try to cling to is suffering. Only when we let go do our hands have space to receive happiness. Have you ever noticed that throughout this entire life we have always been breathing, yet almost never truly know we are breathing? Breath is life, but amid a busy pace we often forget this simple truth. Only when we are tired, anxious, or ill do we pay attention to our breath. By then it is hurried, broken, and tense. The Buddha taught that the breath is the bridge between body and mind. When the mind is uneasy, the breath will be hurried. When the mind is peaceful, the breath naturally becomes light. Therefore, if we know how to return to the breath, we are returning to ourselves. There is no need to seek peace somewhere far away. Simply breathe mindfully, and peace is present immediately. One of the simple methods the Buddha taught is anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing. Just sit still, keep the back straight, relax the shoulders, breathe in deeply and know, I am breathing in. Breathe out gently and know, I am breathing out. At first, the mind will be fidgety, thinking about housework and worldly affairs, but do not blame yourself. Just gently recognize, I just wandered off, and bring the mind back to the breath. With patience, day by day, you will find the breath becoming your dearest friend. The breath has a healing power we seldom notice. When sad, if we pay attention, the breath becomes heavy. When angry, the breath turns short and hot. But simply by pausing, breathing in deeply and breathing out slowly, we have already soothed half the anger and sorrow. No comfort from others is needed. Just by returning to the breath, the mind is already more at ease. There is a story about Min, an office worker. He was often stressed, sleepless, and preoccupied with work. One day, after accidentally watching a teaching by a Zen master, he began sitting quietly for 5 minutes each morning to breathe. At first it felt meaningless, but gradually he noticed his mind settling, worries thinning out. With just 5 minutes a day, he felt a new energy in his body, light, clear, and peaceful. He said, I used to think I had to go far to find peace, but it turns out conscious breathing is enough. Indeed, with only 5 minutes of mindful breathing each day, we can transform the entire day. While working, if the mind tightens, pause for a minute, breathe in deeply, breathe out slowly, and smile. When someone speaks harshly, do not respond immediately. Take a long breath. That breath is like cool water extinguishing the flare of anger. When sleepless, do not try to coax sleep with thoughts. Just lie still. Count each in and out breath, and the mind will quiet as sleep arrives. Breath meditation is not an escape from life. It is learning to live fully in each moment. When we breathe in and know we are breathing in, we are truly alive. When we breathe out and smile, we are thanking life. A single breath is enough to bring us back, enough to help us dwell in the present, where there is no suffering of the past and no fear of the future. In the modern world, where people are always busy with work, news, and devices, the breath is the smallest yet firmest refuge. We may have money, jobs, or even health taken away, but no one can take our breath unless we forget it. When we know how to return with just one mindful breath, we reclaim mastery of our mind. A Zen master once taught, the breath is the anchor line between us and the present. When we hold that line, we will not be swept away by waves of anxiety. Indeed, when we breathe deeply, we no longer drift with thoughts. When we breathe lightly, we no longer get stuck in old matters. Mindfulness practice is not lofty. We can meditate while working, shopping, washing dishes, or caring for grandchildren. When washing dishes, simply know, I am washing dishes. Do not let the mind run to the past or the future. When eating, simply know, I am eating. Feel the sweetness, the saltiness, the fragrance of the food. When walking, simply know, I am walking. Hear each step touch the ground. Feel the heartbeat harmonize with the steps. That is meditation. Mindfulness is the art of being present. When we are fully present in the now, even the smallest acts become sacred. A breath, a cup of tea, a hand held, all are chances to touch life more deeply. Peace is not at the end of the road, but in this very step, this very breath. And when we have mastered the breath, we master our emotions. Those who breathe mindfully are no longer easily shaken. When anger arises, they breathe. When sadness comes, they breathe. When anxiety appears, they breathe. Every storm will pass as long as we stand firm in our own mind. Mindfulness is not only sitting meditation in silence, it is knowing how to live awake amid the noise and busyness of everyday life. The Buddha taught that a mindful person is one who knows clearly what they are doing and where their mind is. When the mind is present in each action, each thought, each word, we are living in awareness. And that is the shortest path to peace. In the Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha said, "One who is mindful is like a gatekeeper who knows who goes out and who comes in." This means such a person clearly knows which thoughts are entering the mind, which are wholesome, which are unwholesome, which to nurture, and which to let go. Mindfulness does not force us to chase thoughts away. It helps us recognize them with understanding. When anger arises, we know this is anger. When worry appears, we know this is worry. Just see it clearly. There is no need to resist. The more we resist, the more tangled the mind becomes. The more we suppress, the more exhausted we feel. Like water, if we stir it, it turns muddy. But if we let it be, it naturally settles and clears again. The human mind is the same. It only needs to be seen and recognized to become calm on its own. Mindfulness is not something mysterious. It is simply stopping and being aware. When washing dishes, know that you are washing dishes. When drinking tea, know that you are drinking tea. When listening, know that you are listening. When walking, know that you are walking. Just that simple. Yet within that simplicity lies the power to transform an entire life. Once a Zen master said, "The miracle is not to fly in the sky or walk on water, but to walk peacefully on this earth." Indeed, in the pace of modern life, where people are constantly pulled into the past and pushed toward the future, to live fully in the present moment is already a great miracle. Many people think that to practice they must go to the mountains, enter monasteries, or withdraw from the world. But in truth, mindfulness is to live within the world, not to escape it. When we cook, clean, care for our grandchildren, or talk with loved ones and still keep a peaceful mind, that is meditation. No need for robes, no need for bells or wooden fish. Just being truly present in that moment is already practice. A mindful person carries gentle eyes, a soft voice, and an unhurried step. It's not that they do not experience suffering, but they know how to embrace suffering with awareness. When sad, they do not rush to push it away. When angry, they do not react immediately. They look deeply into their feelings, understand the cause, and smile as they let go. There is a story about little An, a primary school student. During lunch at school, the teacher taught the class to practice eating in silence. At first, the children laughed because it felt strange, but as the class fell quiet, An slowly lifted a spoonful of rice to his mouth. For the first time, he noticed the sweetness of the grains, the fragrance of boiled vegetables, and the warmth spreading through his body. He whispered, "The rice is so delicious." The teacher smiled. "When your mind is here, you truly taste how good the rice is." From that day, little Anne ate more slowly, no longer watching the phone while eating. Just a few moments of mindfulness, and a child learned a lesson many adults never realize. that only when we are fully present do we truly live. Those who live mindfully find happiness in the simplest things: birdsong by the window, sunlight through the curtain, the warmth of a cup of tea, or a loved one's smile. Everything can become a Dharma practice if we pause to feel it. Mindfulness helps us realize that the world has always been beautiful. We just haven't truly seen it. When the mind is hurried, we see chaos. When the mind is still, we see light even in a speck of dust. Living mindfully doesn't remove life's storms, but it teaches us how to steer through them. A person who knows how to pause in mindfulness no longer fears suffering because they understand that suffering is not an enemy, but a teacher. Each time suffering arises, it is a chance to observe the mind, to understand ourselves, to grow wiser. When we understand suffering, we no longer resent it, and when resentment fades, suffering becomes light. Mindfulness is the art of living awake in every moment. We don't need to wait until work is done to practice, nor until life is quiet to meditate. Even amid busyness, we can practice, with a slow breath, a gentle smile, a thought that pauses. When the mind is present, suffering can no longer pull us away. To live mindfully is to live truthfully with oneself, to know what we are doing, thinking, feeling, and saying. Each breath is a reminder that we are alive, still given the chance to be at peace, to love, to be grateful. When we look at life with a calm heart, even in the marketplace, we can feel as serene as in a meditation hall. On the journey to peace, every one of us has heard the words, "let go." Yet truly letting go is not easy, for humans are born with the instinct to hold, holding on to emotions, status, the past, and even pain. The tighter we hold, the heavier it becomes. Only when we release can the heart be light. The Buddha taught that the root of all suffering is attachment, clinging to what is impermanent. When we try to hold on to what has already changed, we create our own suffering. When we try to keep someone who has left, we forget that nothing in this life is eternal. Flowers bloom and wither. Water comes and goes. Clouds gather and disperse. That is the nature of all phenomena. Understanding this, we truly learn how to let go. There was a woman named Lan, gentle yet burdened by an old wound. Years ago, her best friend betrayed her and her honor was hurt. Though time passed, the pain remained deep in her heart. Each time she recalled it, the ache returned. One day she went to the temple, told her story to the abbot, and tearfully said, "I no longer hate, but I can't forget. I don't want to suffer, yet I still do." The monk didn't answer right away. He poured tea, handed her a cup, and said, "Hold it, don't let go." At first, the cup felt warm and pleasant, but soon the heat began to burn. She endured until she couldn't anymore and had to drop it. The cup fell, spilling tea everywhere. The monk smiled and said, "When the pain is enough, you'll naturally let go. Letting go isn't losing, it's being free." In that moment, Lan realized that letting go isn't forgiving others, but saving herself. Others may hurt us once, but if we keep holding on, we hurt ourselves 1,000 times more. From that day, she no longer waited for an apology, because she understood that the pain didn't lie in others. It lived in her own heart. Letting go is not weakness, but courage. The weak fear losing, the strong understand that nothing truly belongs to us. Letting go is not turning away from life, but moving forward without carrying the weight. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha taught, "Nothing is lost, there is only change." When we understand this, we no longer suffer from loss. Each time a door closes, we know another is opening. But to see the new door, we must release the old one. Letting go does not mean forgetting, but no longer letting the past control the present. It does not mean forgetting people, but no longer allowing memories to cause pain. We still remember, but remember in peace with gratitude, knowing that everything has been a lesson. Some say, "I can't let go because I love too much." But in truth, if love is pure, there is no need to hold. Love that wants to keep is attachment. Love that can let go is compassion. Like the moonlight that shines everywhere without needing thanks, like the cool breeze that passes and leaves its fragrance behind. The wise understand that letting go is the first step to freedom. When the mind is no longer entangled, everything becomes lighter. Just as when we open our hands, we can receive something new. But when we keep clinging, there is no room for happiness to enter. Letting go does not mean losing everything. On the contrary, by letting go, we gain so much: the peace of mind, the freedom of heart, and the light of wisdom. Those who know how to let go do not live indifferently. They live more deeply, love more gently, and smile more kindly. In life, everyone must learn at some point to put things down, to set aside anger, resentment, and what cannot be changed. Sometimes just one deep breath, one released hand, one lighter thought is enough to open the path of liberation. Letting go is the art of living for those who understand the Dharma. For only with a light heart can we go far. A boat must lift its anchor to cross the river. A bird must leave its branch to soar. A person must release the heaviness within to find peace. When the mind is no longer bound by self, the world becomes vast and gentle. Perhaps the most precious thing in life is not how much we keep, but knowing when to let go. When we let go at the right time, we no longer fear loss or change, for we understand that everything flows with the current of causes and conditions. In life, there are things we cannot change no matter how hard we try. There are losses that cannot be undone and people who will never return. If we cannot accept, we remain trapped in pain. The Buddha taught that acceptance is not surrender, but understanding deeply the laws of impermanence and interdependence. From birth, humans carry the instinct to resist what they dislike. We want things to go our way, people to understand us, life to flow smoothly. But life never unfolds as we wish. In adversity, instead of calmly observing, we often complain, blame, or force things, and so suffering arises. The Buddha said, "What comes, let it come. What goes, let it go." When we stop resisting the flow of life, our hearts feel lighter, like a river flowing downstream. If we try to dam it, the water rises and breaks the banks. But if we flow with it, it moves gently and merges with the sea. Life is the same. Everything has its reason, whether we understand it or not. Someone may ask, if I accept, isn't that giving up? No. Acceptance means seeing the truth of impermanence. It means knowing that everything arises when causes and conditions meet. We still act, still make effort, but without resentment or torment. We do our best, then let things unfold naturally according to the law of cause and effect. That is the way of wisdom. The story of Long illustrates this simply. At 35, he lost his job after 8 years of dedication. It came suddenly, like a summer storm. For days he was angry, disappointed, feeling life was unfair. He blamed people, fate, everything. Until one morning he heard the temple bell echo through the mist. The sound quieted his heart, and he decided to sit and listen to the Dharma. The abbot said, "What is lost is not truly lost. It only makes room for what is to come. If you keep clinging to the old, how can the new find a place to stay?" Hearing this, Long wept. He realized he had been staring only at what was gone, forgetting he still had health, family, and a chance to start again. He bowed deeply, and from that day stopped blaming. 2 months later, through a friend's referral, he joined a volunteer project helping poor children. Seeing their smiles warmed his heart. He realized his lost job had opened a more meaningful path. He said, If I hadn't lost that job, I would still be chasing wealth and never find myself. That story shows that acceptance does not weaken us, it strengthens us. Only through acceptance can we rise after a fall. Only through acceptance can we stay calm enough to see opportunity in adversity. Life is not always smooth, but within every loss lies a hidden gift for those who see with understanding. Acceptance does not mean doing nothing. We can still act, but act in peace. When the mind is not driven by fear or anger, clarity arises and good things naturally come. Those who understand acceptance do not argue with life because they know everything has its time. When we understand impermanence, we stop asking why me. We begin to feel grateful for everything, pleasant or painful, for all things help us grow. Like a flower, even when it withers, it has once bloomed. Every person and every event that comes into our life brings a lesson. When the causes are ripe, we meet. When they are gone, we part. Those who live in mindfulness and acceptance are no longer haunted by the past or fearful of the future. They no longer run from pain but embrace it with understanding and compassion. They realize that suffering too is part of life, and within suffering lies the seed of happiness. When we pause and look deeply, suffering becomes a teacher, helping us grow wiser, deeper, and kinder. Acceptance is the path that leads us back to peace. When we no longer resist reality, it can no longer wound us. When we stop fighting with life, life stops exhausting us. And when we can smile amid change, we realize that peace is not out there. It's within the heart that knows how to flow, to thank, and to let go. When the mind clings, the world feels full of conflict. When the mind releases, everything becomes gentle, flowing like the wind through leaves. In the path of practice, releasing attachment is the key that opens the door of compassion, where there is no longer separation between self and others, right and wrong, love and hate. The Buddha taught, "One who sees with the eyes of compassion no longer sees an enemy." The saying sounds simple, but one must endure much pain to truly understand it. We seldom suffer from great events, but from the small things we cannot release. A careless word, a look, a gesture not to our liking. These become needles in the heart that we carry day after day. But have we ever asked, did the person who hurt us truly wish to cause pain, or were they suffering too, not knowing another way? When we begin to see the suffering of others, our own anger softens. That is when compassion begins to bloom. And only when compassion arises does attachment begin to dissolve. An old story tells that one day, a man harshly insulted the Buddha. The Buddha remained silent, his gaze calm and serene. When the man finished, the Buddha asked, "If you offer a gift to someone and they do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" The man replied, "To me." The Buddha smiled and said, "Likewise, you offer me your insults, but I do not accept them. They still belong to you." That calmness did not arise by chance. It was the fruit of a mind free from ego and attachment. People insulted, but the Buddha saw no self to be insulted and no other to do the insulting. When the mind no longer clings to I and mine, all praise and blame pass by like wind across a lake. In modern life, attachment shows itself in many forms. Attachment to opinions, to roles, to being right or wrong, to reputation, to praise, to self-image. Each time we cling, we build a wall between ourselves and others. And the irony is this: we build walls to protect our hearts, but those very walls make us lonely and weary. Letting go of attachment does not mean abandoning discernment. It means learning to listen and to see life's many dimensions. Everyone has their own conditions, their own causes, their own suffering. When we understand that, we stop judging so quickly. One who speaks harshly may do so from pain. One who acts wrongly may do so from ignorance. Seeing that root, our anger turns into compassion. Letting go of attachment also means learning to look at ourselves with compassion. Many suffer not because of others, but because they cling to themselves, blaming, regretting, and tormenting over mistakes. But the more we blame, the more we suffer. The Buddha taught, no one can start again from the beginning, but anyone can begin now to create a new ending. When we forgive ourselves, we open the door to growth. One afternoon, a woman came to a Zen master and said, "I've done many wrong things. I feel guilty and hate myself. How can I be free from my sins?" The master was silent for a while, then asked, "If you break a cup, can you mend it back to what it was?" She bowed her head. "No, I can't." He smiled. "But can you use the broken pieces to decorate another cup, making it even more beautiful?" She nodded through her tears. Letting go of attachment is just like that. We do not try to glue together what is shattered, but use the broken pieces to create something beautiful. When we stop fighting the past, it becomes a stepping stone. When we stop clinging to ourselves, our hearts widen enough to embrace both people and life. A person free from attachment is truly free. No one can make them suffer, for they hold on to nothing that can cause pain. They no longer seek to win or be right. They simply wish to bring peace to others. That is the highest expression of compassion. Letting go of attachment does not mean forgetting everything, but seeing the true nature of all things, that everything is impermanent, conditioned, and not worth clinging to forever. When we understand this, we stop trying to fix others, stop demanding life to fit our expectations, and instead focus on cultivating our own hearts. When the mind is at peace, life is at peace. Compassion is not something distant. It begins the moment we stop resisting and learn to smile at what is. When we let go of attachment, we free ourselves from the burden of hatred, resentment, and fear. Then the heart becomes calm like a still lake, reflecting everything clearly, yet holding on to nothing. Sadness is an uninvited friend that everyone meets. Some try to push it away, others pretend not to see it. Yet the more we avoid it, the longer it stays. The Buddha taught that no emotion is evil. Only an unawakened mind fails to understand it. When we look at sorrow through the light of mindfulness, it ceases to be an enemy and becomes a gentle teacher. One morning, a woman named Thao came to the temple with weary eyes. Her son had died in an accident, and grief had drained her will to live. Throughout the talk, she only cried, unable to speak. The old monk beside her said nothing, offered her a cup of hot tea, and after a while softly said, "Do you see this cup of tea? If you stir it violently, the water turns cloudy and you can't see your reflection. But if you leave it still, the water clears. Your mind is the same. Let it rest. Don't resist." Hearing that, she wept again. But this time, differently. Her tears were softer, not desperate. From then on, she sat quietly, each day, gazing into her sadness without trying to drive it away. When she missed her son, she whispered, "I know you're still here, in this breath, in every memory." Gradually, her sorrow softened into a warm stream flowing through her heart. The Buddha once taught, suffering is the soil in which understanding grows. When we stop running and dare to face suffering, we see the lesson it carries. Loss teaches gratitude. Hurt teaches forgiveness. Loneliness teaches self-love. Without suffering, we would never know peace. Without tears, we would never understand the value of a smile. In today's world, many fear sadness. They seek to forget through movies, music, shopping, eating, or travel. But those pleasures are only temporary medicine. When the laughter fades, the sadness remains. The Buddha taught, to overcome suffering, we must go through it, not around it. When we sit still, face it, and understand it, sorrow naturally dissolves like mist in the morning sun. Transforming sorrow doesn't mean driving it away. It means illuminating it with understanding. To see that all things are impermanent, that those we love and what we lose are parts of cause and condition. With that insight, sadness is no longer a pit, but a doorway to growth. Someone asked, "How can sorrow stop making me suffer?" The answer, don't try to erase it. Breathe with it. When you are sad, don't force yourself to be happy. Just breathe slowly. Place your hand on your chest. Feel your heartbeat and realize you are still alive, still given the chance to love. When you look at sorrow with a kind heart, it softens and gratitude gently blooms within. The wise do not fear suffering, for they know it is part of life. They don't run from sadness, they smile at it. They understand that sadness too is a form of love. We grieve because we once loved, once cared, once hoped. When we see this, we no longer blame sadness. We quietly thank it for reminding us that we have lived and loved deeply, even if only for a brief moment. In mindfulness, every sorrow can become a Dharma teaching. When sadness comes, sit still, breathe deeply, and let your breath flow through the pain. Don't rush to banish it, just look deeply to understand. Once understanding arises, the heart softens and the tears clear. Just as when it rains, we don't tell the rain to stop. We simply open an umbrella and walk gently, knowing that the clouds will pass and the sky will clear again. Practicing the transformation of sorrow is learning to bring the light of understanding to illuminate the darkness within. When we understand, we no longer blame. When we love, we no longer hate. When we accept, we no longer fear. And when the mind is bright enough, sorrow becomes the soil where wisdom and compassion grow. Once we know how to look at sadness with mindfulness, we realize there is nothing that needs to be erased, nothing that needs to be forgotten. Everything is already transforming on its own. All we need is patience to listen. One day, as we sit in stillness, we will see the sorrow of the past was merely a passing rain, and thanks to it, the soil of our heart has blossomed. When one learns to say thank you sincerely, suffering softens. Gratitude is not mere politeness. It is a profound healing energy. The Buddha taught that a grateful heart is a blessed one, for gratitude is the fertile ground where all goodness grows. Many think gratitude is only for good times, but on the spiritual path, we learn to be grateful even for adversity, loss, and those who once hurt us, for they have helped us see the impermanent nature of life and taught our hearts to be humble and compassionate. Someone once said, "If you are grateful for the small things, you will see that life itself is a miracle." Indeed, simply to wake up and see sunlight, to hear birdsong, to breathe, these are blessings many no longer have. When we are grateful just to be alive, our worries shrink because we realize every moment is precious. The story of old Tu in the countryside is a simple example. All his life, he worked as a farmer, living in a small house in the middle of the fields. Every day he ate rice with sesame salt and boiled vegetables. One day his nephew from the city came to visit and asked, "Aren't you tired of eating like this?" Old Tu smiled kindly. "What's there to be tired of? Any day I can eat is a happy day. Simple rice tastes better than fine food when the heart is at peace." That is the wisdom of one who knows sufficiency and gratitude. Old Tu was poor in possessions, but rich in peace. Meanwhile, many in luxurious cities surrounded by comfort feel empty and anxious because they have never learned to pause and be thankful. Gratitude transforms how we see. Instead of saying, "Why me?" we learn to say, "Thank you for teaching me something." When someone hurts us, instead of resentment, we can thank them for teaching us how to let go, to understand, to love in a truer way. When we fail, instead of despair, we can thank the experience for teaching humility and strength. Every breath, every small act can plant seeds of gratitude. Each morning we can whisper, "Thank you that I can still breathe, still live, still have someone to love." Before eating, we can silently thank the cook, the farmer, the earth, and the sky for the meal. Before sleeping, we can say, "Thank you for another peaceful day." Such small thank yous, repeated daily, weave a warm blanket around the soul. Those who are grateful complain little, for they see every event as a lesson. Those who are grateful fear little, for they trust that even in hardship, goodness awaits. Gratitude dissolves envy, for we realize everyone walks their own path. Gratitude silences blame, for we understand that all things arise through conditions and serve to train the heart. The Buddha said, "Gratitude and repayment are the virtues of the noble." Be grateful to parents for giving us this body, to teachers and friends for showing the way, and to all who have helped us, even once. Yet most of all, be grateful to yourself, the one who has endured storms and still chooses kindness. When gratitude is cultivated, peace naturally arises. In adversity, we can still smile. Amid change, we can still remain calm, because we know every moment is a gift. When we look at life with grateful eyes, everything becomes lighter. Even suffering turns to light. And one day, in deep stillness, we will see that gratitude no longer needs to be spoken, for it has become our breath, our gaze, our gentle smile. Then we need not pray for peace. We are already living in peace. Contentment is a rare virtue in an age driven by endless desire. The Buddha taught, "One who knows contentment, even sleeping on the ground, dwells in joy. One who knows no contentment, even in heaven, remains in misery." Now, this simple truth runs deep. Suffering does not come from circumstance, but from craving without end. In today's world, people work not only to live, but to surpass others. Everyone wants more, better, greater, running endlessly without knowing what they chase. With a house, they want a bigger one. With a car, a fancier one. With a bit of fame, more admiration. But the more they have, the less they feel. For desire is like fire. The more we fan it, the stronger it burns. A person who knows contentment is not without wishes, but knows the boundary between need and greed. They live simply, waste little, compete less, yet are richer than anyone, for they know happiness comes not from gaining more, but from letting go. A story tells of a wealthy merchant who asked a Zen master, "I have wealth, houses, fame, yet I feel empty. How can I be happy?" The master said nothing, poured tea, and kept pouring until it overflowed. The merchant cried, "Master, it's spilling. No more can fit." The master smiled, "Just like your mind. When it is full of desire and calculation, there is no room for happiness to enter." Hearing this, the merchant sat silent. He realized he had spent his life filling up, never emptying out, and that fullness was his burden. From that day, he lived differently, less showing off, less scheming, spending time teaching and helping the poor. He said, "I am not poorer now, my heart is lighter, and that is true wealth." Those who know contentment do not fear lack, for they trust that what is needed will come, while excess only weighs the heart down. They eat when hungry, rest when tired, rejoice in doing good. Those who lack contentment, even sitting on gold, feel restless, for their minds never rest. The Buddha once said, "Contentment is the greatest treasure." When we know contentment, we naturally find joy in the simplest things. A pure meal, a cool afternoon, a loved one's smile, or a deep breath. Every moment lived in peace is already a gift. Those who know contentment need not seek happiness far away, for they know happiness is right here in the present moment. Learning to be content does not mean stopping growth. It means growing mindfully, We still work, still strive, but without losing ourselves. We still have goals, but we do not let them rule our hearts. When we act with calmness and contentment, every achievement becomes complete, for we are no longer driven by comparison or competition. The practice of contentment begins with small things, stopping when we are full, speaking only when needed, remaining silent when words may hurt. Contentment is not just about possessions. It is about emotions and awareness. When the mind knows when to stop, peace arises naturally. Those who know contentment always have a gentle gaze. They do not compete, boast, or judge, for they understand that everyone walks their own path. They can sit in a noisy crowd and remain as calm as a still lake. That serenity makes them beautiful, light, and trustworthy. When we learn to see life through the eyes of contentment, we realize that everything around us is precious. A small house can still be warm. A simple meal can still be delicious. A morning of good health is a great blessing. One who knows contentment does not need to be more than others, for they are already full within. Eventually, we understand that what makes life peaceful is not having more, but knowing when to stop and cherishing what we have. When we are content, the mind becomes bright, the heart calm, and the steps light. Then, even as the world changes every moment, we can still smile, for within we hold an entire sky of peace. In life, no one escapes hardship. Sometimes it comes as sudden illness, great loss, or small disruptions to familiar rhythms. But what matters is not what happens, but how we face it. The Buddha taught, when the mind is peaceful, the world is peaceful. When our hearts are steady, we stand firm like a mountain beneath the sky. Someone once asked, "How can I stay calm when everything around me is chaotic?" The Buddha replied, "When the wind rises, only a still lake reflects the sky." The mind is the same. When anger, fear, or worry take over, wisdom cannot appear. Only when the mind is still can we see things as they truly are. Today's world is full of uncertainty. Jobs change, health declines, loved ones move away, and the unexpected can happen at any moment. We often respond with anxiety, trying to control everything, but the more we control, the less peace we have. In truth, the only thing we can control is our own mind. Keeping the mind calm does not mean being indifferent. It means seeing clearly, understanding deeply, and letting go. When something happens, instead of asking, "Why me?" we can ask, "What is this teaching me?" That shift turns pain into learning. Every event, when seen through wisdom, becomes a chance to grow. There is a story about a farmer. One day, his prized horse ran away. The neighbors came to console him, but he said, "Who knows what is good or bad?" A few days later, the horse returned with 3 wild horses. Everyone congratulated him, but he said again, "Who knows what is good or bad?" Later, his son rode one of the new horses and broke his leg. The neighbors pitied him, but he said once more, "Who knows what is good or bad?" Months later, the king's army came to draft young men for war. But because of his broken leg, the son stayed home. Then everyone understood his words. That simple story holds a profound lesson. Everything has 2 sides. When we judge too quickly, we see only a small part of the picture. But when we stay calm, our view widens. What seems like loss may be gain. What seems bad may become a hidden blessing. When misfortune strikes, if we panic, the mind closes. But if we stay calm, the mind opens. An open mind sees opportunity. A closed mind sees only obstacles. Calmness is the gentle strength that helps us stay steady amid life's waves. The Buddha taught, "Nothing lasts forever. Suffering passes, joy passes." Understanding this, we stop fearing hardship and stop clinging to ease. A calm person is like one sitting by a river, watching the water flow without trying to hold it. Cultivating calmness is a daily practice that begins with the smallest things. When someone speaks harshly, don't react immediately. Breathe deeply, smile, and let the anger pass like a cloud. When things don't go as planned, see it as a chance to train patience. When loss comes, allow yourself to grieve, but don't let sorrow linger too long, for no one can free us from suffering but ourselves. Some say, "I can't stay calm. There's too much going on." But in truth, it is because there's so much going on that calmness is essential. Calmness is not the privilege of the idle, but the strength of those who master their minds amid hardship. A calm person is not one who suffers less, but one who sees suffering through wisdom. They know pain comes to remind them to look within, to recognize what truly matters. When the mind is strong, we no longer get swept away by storms. When the mind is bright, we see every challenge as a chance to refine ourselves. And when the mind is peaceful, we no longer need to flee from life. Wherever we are, whomever we meet, we can still smile gently, because we understand calmness is not the absence of waves, but the art of steering through them with a steady heart. Then, no matter how stormy life becomes, our heart remains like a still lake reflecting the vast sky, where every upheaval passes like drifting clouds. There is something strange about suffering. Most of it does not come from what happens, but from resisting what happens. When life goes against our expectations, we instantly protest within, "This shouldn't be happening." It is that resistance, not the event itself, that creates pain. The Buddha taught, "Everything is as it is." Life constantly changes, nothing stays fixed. Rain falls as rain, wind blows as wind, flowers bloom, people come and go, all follow the law of impermanence. Yet humans want to hold, to control, to force life to follow their desires. And from that, dissatisfaction and suffering arise. When something unpleasant occurs, we usually respond in two ways: denial or complaint. Both drain the heart. The more we resist reality, the heavier it becomes. Like one drowning who keeps struggling, the more they fight, the faster they sink. Only by letting go and allowing the body to float can they breathe again. Not resisting reality does not mean resignation. It means accepting what is present so we can see the path clearly. When we stop resisting, the mind becomes bright, and in that clarity, solutions naturally arise. Wisdom is never born from resistance. It blossoms only through acceptance. A person who loses their job can choose to blame others, blame themselves, or calmly look back to understand what causes and conditions brought them there. Perhaps it is an opportunity to rest, to change direction, to begin something new. When we stop seeing life's events as enemies, they become our teachers. In daily life, there are countless small things we resist without noticing. We get angry in traffic. We complain when it rains. We feel hurt when others don't understand us. We feel sad when our children don't listen. Yet none of these reactions change the situation. They only rob us of peace. If we learn to look at things with calmness, we will see that everything is simply doing its own work. A Zen master once said, "When you no longer say, 'if only,' you begin to be happy." That simple sentence holds the wisdom of an entire life. If only is the voice of the past, and what if is the shadow of regret. Both pull us away from the present moment. Reality itself contains no suffering. Only the mind resisting it gives rise to pain. When a loved one falls ill, we cannot change that truth, but we can choose how to respond. Instead of despair, we can be fully present with care, with gentle love, with compassion. When we accept, the heart opens, and that loving energy eases both our pain and theirs. Not resisting reality also means not running away from ourselves. When sadness arises, don't push it away. When anger arises, don't pretend to be calm. Just look directly at the feeling, Call it by its name and you'll see it's just a wave, coming and going. You are the ocean, vast, deep, and unshaken by passing waves. The Buddha taught that the wise do not try to change the world before understanding their own minds. For when the mind still resists, even if we change people, places, or circumstances, suffering will follow. But when the mind is in harmony, peace is everywhere. At that point, we no longer ask, "Why is life this way?" but simply smile and say, "Ah, life is this way." In acceptance, fear dissolves. We realize that everything unfolds according to its causes and conditions. Instead of trying to change the river's flow, we learn to row with its current. Instead of cursing the rain, we learn to walk through it peacefully. Then life is no longer a battle but a journey. Each day a lesson, each step an opportunity to live more deeply, to understand more, to love more. And then we see, peace does not come from life following our will, but from our hearts flowing with life. When we stop resisting reality, everything softens. We realize that life never meant to hurt us. We simply hadn't stopped long enough to see that everything has always been unfolding exactly as it should. Silence is the deepest language a human being can learn. In a world growing noisier each day, whoever keeps silence in their heart has already come close to peace. The Buddha taught, when the mouth is silent, the mind becomes still. When the mind is still, wisdom shines. Or, the silence he spoke of is not merely outer quiet, but inner stillness, where there is no argument, no judgment, no noise of restless thoughts. Today, people talk too much and listen too little. We speak to prove we are right, to be praised, to fill the fear of silence inside. Yet the more we talk, the further we drift from our true nature. Silence is not weakness. It is the expression of wisdom and compassion. The wise need few words, and the compassionate know how to listen. There is a story. One day, a Zen master took his student to a riverbank. He scooped water into a bowl, stirred it gently, and asked, "What do you see?" The student replied, "The water is muddy. I can't see my reflection." The master said, "Exactly, the mind is the same. When stirred by words and reactions, you cannot see yourself clearly. Only when it becomes still does truth appear." In silence, we begin to hear the voice of our own heart. For years, we have been too busy reacting to the world to notice what we truly feel. When we sit quietly, when we stop arguing, we discover small fears, unspoken sadness, unfinished dreams, all waiting to be heard. And when we listen to ourselves with kindness, the heart heals itself. Silence does not mean never speaking. It means speaking from peace and wisdom. Some words are like spring wind, gentle and warm. Others are like sharp knives, true but hurtful. The one who practices mindfulness speaks not to win, but to heal. Before speaking, pause and ask, will this bring peace to anyone? If not, better to smile and remain silent. The ancients said, a word once spoken is like a horse that runs 1,000 miles, hard to catch again. When we are angry, words become arrows. When we are loving, words become light. Thus, silence is the gate of compassion. It allows us to stop before hurting others. One moment of silence in anger can save a relationship, a peaceful night, even a lifetime. Silence is also the foundation of listening. Only when the mind is quiet can we truly hear others. Listening is not to reply, but to understand. Many think they are listening, but they are only waiting for their turn to speak. When we listen with a mind full of prejudice, we never hear truth. But when we listen with emptiness, we perceive the pain, hopes, and fears behind every word, and compassion naturally arises. The Lotus Sutra says, one who knows how to listen is one who knows how to relieve suffering. Simply by listening with full presence, we help the other heal. For in our silence, they feel understood, accepted, and held. Sometimes we need not advise. Just listening deeply is already an act of great kindness. Practicing silence and deep listening is especially precious in midlife, when we have lived through many conflicts and realize that winning only tires the heart. In the family, instead of reacting hastily to our children's words, pause and truly listen. At work, instead of arguing to prove ourselves right, listen to understand what others fear or long for. When we understand, anger fades. When anger fades, harmony returns. Silence is not an escape from life. It is a return to inner wisdom. When the mind is still, clarity arises. The answers we seek are not out there, but within the moment we truly stop. In stillness, we see everything clearly, as if through calm water, seeing ourselves, seeing others, seeing that all things arise from interdependence. No one is absolutely right or wrong. Everything simply is. And one day, when we have become familiar with silence, we will no longer fear it. We will see that silence is not emptiness, but fullness, full of life. We will realize that every beautiful word is born from deep silence, and within that stillness, we will hear the voice of the Buddha within, the voice of compassion, of understanding, of wordless peace. Modern society teaches us to be fast, work fast, eat fast, speak fast, think fast. Everything must be achieved right now. But the faster we move, the more peace we lose, for speed not only sweeps our bodies away, but also our minds. The Buddha taught, when the mind chases after objects, suffering arises. If we never stop, we will remain wanderers who never find the way home. Living slowly does not mean being lazy or sluggish. It means pausing to live more deeply. When we live slowly, we stop being pulled by the world and begin to master each moment. Every action, every breath, every glance becomes complete. Instead of rushing through countless tasks, we learn to do one thing mindfully. Imagine a morning where, instead of jumping up in haste, we sit quietly for a few minutes, listen to the birds outside, take a deep breath, and feel the cool air fill our lungs. That is practice. When we eat, we put down the phone, chew slowly, taste the food, and feel gratitude for the cook, the farmer, the earth, and the sky that gave us this meal. That is meditation in daily life. When we walk, we don't rush. We feel each step touching the ground, aware that we are healthy, alive. Each step is a miracle. A person who lives slowly is present in every moment. They do not live in memory, nor are they haunted by the future. They live wholly in the now. They do not let the mind wander because they know that all goodness begins in inner stillness. Living slowly allows us to see what haste makes invisible. Sunlight glinting on leaves, the smile of a stranger, or the warmth of a morning cup of tea. Some say, if I live slowly, I'll be left behind. But in truth, those who live slowly are no longer chasing anyone. They understand that there is no competition except with who they were yesterday. When we live slowly, we do not fall behind. We become free because time no longer chases us. During a Dharma talk, someone asked a Zen master, "Master, how can I stop feeling like I'm living too fast?" The master replied, "When you drink water, know you are drinking water. When you walk, know you are walking. When you listen, know you are listening. That is living slowly." It sounds simple, but anyone who has tried will know. To still the mind in a rushing world is an art of true cultivation. Living slowly is also a way to preserve our energy, both body and mind. When we hurry, our breath becomes shallow, our heartbeat quickens, and our thoughts grow tense. When we slow down, our breath deepens, the mind steadies, and the body naturally heals. Many modern illnesses arise not from lack of medicine, but from the mind's lack of rest. Those who live slowly are not idle. They live consciously. They know that every small act deserves attention. Washing dishes in mindfulness is practice. Sweeping the yard in silence is meditation. Cooking with gratitude is an offering to life. And sitting quietly to breathe, that is returning home to oneself. Living slowly also helps us truly listen to others. When we are not in a rush, we have time to look into another's eyes, to sense their joy or sorrow. We listen not to reply, but to feel. We speak less, but every word carries warmth and meaning. Thus, relationships become deeper and kinder. A layperson once said, "Since I learned to live slowly, my meals are calmer, my words gentler, and life has become so much more beautiful." Indeed, when we slow down, we discover that peace is never far away. It has always lived in every moment of true presence. The world outside may remain noisy, but we can choose stillness. The river of life may flow fast, but we can choose to walk gently along its bank. When we live slowly, we are no longer dragged by things beyond our reach. We no longer chase others, but return to meet ourselves. And that is the most important encounter in a lifetime. Living slowly does not make life smaller, it makes everything more meaningful. When we eat, we truly eat. When we listen, we truly listen. When we live, we truly live. That is the simple path the Buddha taught, the path of mindfulness in every moment. And walking that path, we need not seek peace, for we realize we have been living in peace all along. Every person carries invisible burdens, worries, regrets, anger, or things yet unforgiven. As we grow older, our bodies may weaken, but our hearts often remain heavy, still clinging to the past. The Buddha taught, "Those who carry the past are like travelers hauling stones across the desert. The farther they go, the heavier it feels." To walk lightly, we must first learn to set the load down. Letting go does not mean forgetting, nor neglecting. It means not allowing the heart to be bound by what is no longer here. Everything has its causes and conditions. What comes must also go. Holding on only deepens the pain. Letting go allows us to return to our natural peace. A woman once told a monk, "I can't forget the one who betrayed my trust. I'm not angry anymore, but I still feel hurt." The monk stayed silent, poured her a cup of hot tea, and said, "Hold it tightly, don't let go." After a while, her hand began to burn. He said, "When the pain is enough, you'll let go on your own. Suffering is the same. No one forces you to hold it. It hurts only because you refuse to release it." Hearing that, she wept. From that day, she understood. Letting go is not losing, but gaining freedom. People often mistake letting go for weakness. In truth, the weak cling out of fear. The strong dare to release. For they understand that nothing truly belongs to us. Even this body must one day return to the earth. How much less fame, wealth, or affection? When we see that everything is impermanent, we no longer wish to hold on. And when we no longer cling, the heart becomes free. Letting go is also a journey. No one can release all at once. Sometimes it takes many sleepless nights, many tears, many moments of remembrance before we realize that holding on only wounds us more. Like one clutching a burning coal, the tighter the grip, the greater the pain. Only by letting go can we stop hurting. Yet letting go is not cutting away everything. It is releasing attachment while keeping love, but with greater clarity and lightness. One who knows how to let go sees life through the eyes of awareness. They understand that some things come only to teach us, then leave. Some people enter our lives bringing both smiles and tears, but through them we learn to understand and to love. No one arrives without reason, and no one leaves without purpose. When we see this truth, we stop blaming and begin to be grateful. Letting go is also a right way of loving. When we love without wanting to possess, without demanding a return, we are living in compassion. like the moon that shines everywhere without needing anyone's gratitude, like the cool breeze that passes by and goes, yet its fragrance still lingers. To love like that is to love with the Buddha's heart, gentle, tolerant, and free. Many people live their whole lives without learning how to let go. They hold tightly to old stories, to words once said, to those who have gone, and make themselves weary. But ask yourself, what in this life is truly forever? Joy changes, sorrow passes. Holding on only keeps us from welcoming the new, like a hand that stays clenched and cannot receive a gift. Only when we open it can we truly receive. Letting go is also a way to clear the mind. When the heart is entangled, wisdom is clouded. When the heart grows still, wisdom naturally shines. Like a muddy pond that cannot reflect the moon, only when the water settles can the reflection appear. Letting go is the path that clears the pond of the mind. If one day you feel your heart too heavy, pause and ask yourself, is this truly necessary? Does this bring me peace? If the answer is no, gently set it down. No forcing, no haste. Just let go little by little, like washing dishes, one at a time until the water turns clear. The Buddha taught, those who know how to let go have begun to understand deeply the truth of impermanence. When we let go, we lose nothing. We only release the burden to gain freedom. We lose attachment to gain peace. And in that very moment, we truly live. For only when the heart is light can we go far. Only when we let go can we see the beauty of life, hear our own laughter again, and feel the fragrance of peace quietly blooming within. In life, there are things we cannot change no matter how hard we try. There are people we love but cannot keep. There are things we want but cannot achieve. There are losses we must learn to pass through no matter how painful. The more we resist, the deeper the suffering becomes. Only when we know how to accept does peace begin to arise. The Buddha said, what comes, let it come. What goes, let it go. Do not cling, for clinging only prolongs suffering. Acceptance is not resignation or indifference, but an attitude of wisdom. It is the understanding that everything arises from causes and conditions, that everything happens according to its natural law. When we understand karma, we no longer blame others, curse the heavens, or hold anger, because we know some things come to teach us. Some people appear only to remind us of something, then leave so we may grow. In the Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha taught that all conditioned phenomena are impermanent. That means everything with form will change. Nothing exists forever. If we cling to what has already changed, we are only hurting ourselves. Acceptance is deep understanding of impermanence, realizing that life is a flowing stream and we can only move with it, not stop or reverse it. Some lose their jobs and feel as though their world has collapsed. Yet after a while, they find a new direction, even greater happiness. Some lose a loved one and feel they cannot live on, but time helps them see that loss is not the end, but the opening of another path, a path to understanding and gratitude. If we can walk through pain with mindfulness, we will see that within suffering lies the seed of peace. There is a story of a middle-aged man who, after 8 years of devoted work, was suddenly dismissed from his company. He fell into despair, lost faith, and felt life was unfair. One day, passing by a temple, he heard the sound of a bell echoing through the morning mist and stopped. Inside, the abbot said, some things are lost not because they are gone, but because they are making space for what is coming. If you keep holding on to the old, how can the new enter? Hearing that, he felt relieved. He began to understand that nothing was truly taken away, only that the conditions had changed. And from that moment of opening, he found the path of service, living a life more meaningful than ever before. Acceptance does not mean abandoning dreams, but not clinging to results. We still work, work, still love, still live wholeheartedly, but without demanding that everything go our way. Like planting seeds, we care for them, water them, but cannot force them to bloom when we wish. When they bloom in their time, we rejoice. When they have not yet bloomed, we remain at peace. That is mindful acceptance. Those who do not know acceptance often live with the question, why? Why did this happen to me? Why do I work so hard yet gain less than others? Why did the one I love leave me? But those who understand the Dharma ask differently. What is this trying to teach me? That question transforms suffering into learning, adversity into a path of growth. Acceptance is also knowing how to pause amid life's current. When we find ourselves trying too hard, feeling too weary, take a deep breath, close our eyes and whisper, everything is unfolding as it needs to. Nothing is wrong. Only our hearts refuse to understand. Once we do, everything becomes easier. We no longer want to win or to prove, only to dwell peacefully in the present and live fully this very moment. Those who accept are not defeated by suffering. They are strengthened by it. For they know that within loss there is gain, within pain there is wisdom. They do not grieve when a door closes, but smile, knowing another will open, only not yet. And when our hearts are calm enough, we will realize that no one owes anyone anything in this life. We simply walk together for a while and then part ways. Nothing needs to be held onto, nothing needs to be blamed. Everything comes and goes like clouds in the sky. When it comes, we greet it. When it goes, we send it off. As long as gratitude stays in our hearts, we have enough peace to keep walking. When we accept, we no longer need to fight life. We learn to smile amid change, to move lightly through ups and downs, and then life is no longer a series of trials, but a journey, one that teaches us to grow in love and wisdom. In the Buddha's teaching, there is a beautiful phrase, tui duyen, meaning go with conditions. Two simple words, yet holding profound wisdom. Tui duyen does not mean giving up or leaving things to fate, but living fully in the present without attachment to results. Doing our best, yet knowing that all things come from the ripening of causes and conditions. Nothing can be forced. One who lives with the heart of Tui Duyen has learned the great lesson of peace. They understand that nothing in life happens by accident. Every joy, every sorrow is the fruit of seeds once sown. When conditions meet, flowers bloom. When conditions end, flowers fade. There is no need for sorrow nor for excessive joy, for everything is simply moving along its rightful path. Someone once asked a Zen master, if I live according to conditions, does that mean I will no longer have goals or strive for anything? The master smiled. Not so. You still plant, still water, still nurture each day. Only you do not demand the flower to bloom according to your will. When it blooms, you smile. When it does not, you remain at peace. Living according to conditions means living wholeheartedly, but not letting the heart be bound. We can love someone with all our heart, yet understand that they have their own path, their own karma to fulfill. We can do something with complete dedication, yet know that the outcome is not entirely in our hands. When we've done our best, there's no more fear of gain or loss. When the mind stops forcing, life becomes light. A person who lives according to conditions rarely gets angry. When things go against their will, they smile and think, perhaps the conditions are not yet ripe. When a loved one leaves, they say, the conditions have ended. Thank you for having come. When things don't go as expected, they bow their head in acceptance. No blame, no resentment, for they understand that everything unfolds according to its own causes and conditions, not missing by even a hair's breadth. Living according to conditions is also living in freedom. When we are no longer tied by desire, fear vanishes. We fear losing because we believe something belongs to us. When we understand that nothing truly does, what is left to fear? When there is no fear, only then do we truly live. The Buddha taught, "One who lives according to conditions dwells in the Dharma," meaning such a person is not swayed by external circumstances. When the sun shines, they dry their clothes. When it rains, they bring them in. When people come, they greet them. When they go, they send them off. Everything is received with a calm heart. No resistance, no forcing. Everything has its own time. There is a story about a monk who lived on a mountain, having only one simple meal each day. When asked, "Don't you find life too hard?" he smiled. "I eat when hungry, sleep when tired, gaze at the moon when the sky is clear, listen to the rain when it falls. What suffering is there?" The person fell silent, realizing that peace or pain doesn't lie in circumstances, but in the mind. Living according to conditions does not make us weak. It makes us strong, because such people are no longer ruled by emotion. They do not let their hearts rise and fall with praise or blame, gain or loss. They know all things are temporary. Fame fades, love changes, only a peaceful mind remains. One who lives according to conditions walks through life without being swept away by it. They know when to pause, when to move forward. They understand that forcing unripe conditions brings suffering, while waiting for readiness is wisdom. When conditions come, they welcome. When they go, they let go. No clinging, no resistance, only presence in this moment. If one day your heart feels torn in conflict, breathe slowly and ask yourself, what am I forcing? What condition am I resisting? Once you see it, release it gently. Let things flow like a river. The water moves forward, never backward. When conditions come, smile. When they go, give thanks. When we learn to live according to conditions, we find peace everywhere. Even in difficulty, we feel at ease. Even when others change, we remain serene. Because peace does not come from outside, but from how we perceive. When we see that everything arises from conditions, the heart releases, and in that very moment, happiness returns, quiet, gentle, yet full. One of the main reasons people lose peace is the habit of judgment. We judge others, we judge ourselves, we even judge life itself. But the Buddha taught, do not hastily believe anything. Do not rush to conclusions until you have seen it with the eye of wisdom. For everything has deep causes, while we see only the surface of the iceberg. Judgment is the habit of an ignorant mind. It makes us think we understand, when in truth, we only reflect our own biases. When we see someone act wrongly, we quickly condemn. When someone lives differently from us, we deem them lesser. Yet we do not know. Everyone carries their own pain. Every action stems from its own causes. One may smile outside but cry within. One may act wrongly but out of fear or unhealed wounds. An old story tells, a monk passing through a village saw a poorly dressed woman weeping by the stream. The villagers said, "She is sinful, disgraceful." The monk said nothing, sat beside her in silence. After a while, she sobbed, "I am not as bad as they think. I've just lost my child, and no one understands." The monk softly replied, "I know." Just those two words made her weep, not from sadness but from relief, for it was the first time someone looked at her without judgment. Sometimes what people need is not advice, but a gentle gaze. When we stop judging, our hearts open. We begin to see others not as right or wrong, good or bad, but as beings learning to live, just like us. When we see with understanding, compassion naturally arises. And where compassion is present, judgment dissolves. Not only toward others, but toward ourselves too. We must stop judging. There are past mistakes that haunt us, yet self-judgment brings no growth, only weariness. The Buddha taught, If one knows they have done wrong and vows not to repeat it, the fault becomes as light as drifting clouds. Forgiving oneself is not indulgence, it is wisdom. To admit and correct one's wrong is already awakening. Those who judge often have restless minds, always seeking control and proving themselves right. But the wise need not argue. They understand that everyone has their own karma, their own path, their own pace. No one is the same. The slow are not to be blamed. The fast are not to be proud. What matters is that each strives to surpass themselves. The Buddha once said, "Those who see others' faults are still blind." This does not mean we should ignore mistakes, but not let judgment overshadow compassion. If we see someone err, we should feel compassion, for they suffer. If we see someone act wrongly, we should feel understanding, for they are lost. Instead of saying, "Why are they like that?" say, "May they find peace." When we live without judgment, our hearts grow light. People around us feel safe, sensing our compassion. In a family, when parents stop judging, children open up. At work, when we stop judging colleagues, we see their struggles instead of faults. And within ourselves, when we stop judging, we feel the freedom of one who has finally set down a burden long carried. To live without judgment does not mean to ignore right and wrong, but to see clearly without attachment. Such a person understands that everything arises from causes and conditions. So instead of condemning, they help. They need not scold or preach. Their silent compassion itself becomes a teaching for others. In the silence of a non-judging mind, wisdom begins to blossom. We see the world more lightly, others more closely, and ourselves more gently. For judgment is darkness, and understanding is light. When light is present, darkness naturally fades. And one day, when we look at someone who once caused us pain, we will simply smile. No more anger, no more blame, only compassion, because we understand that they too are learning to walk through their own suffering, just as we once did. When we see that, we have truly understood the Dharma. For one who understands the Dharma does not compete. One who understands life does not judge. And one who understands oneself no longer suffers. In life, everyone has been hurt. Some have been betrayed, slandered, abandoned, or misunderstood. These wounds, if not healed, linger in the heart, keeping pain alive. The Buddha taught, "Anger is the fire that burns away virtue, while forgiveness is the cool water that extinguishes that flame." Forgiveness is not forgetting another's wrongdoing. It is freeing ourselves from the burden of resentment. Some say, "I cannot forgive, they hurt me too much." But in truth, when we do not forgive, we are the ones who carry the wound forever. Like holding a burning coal to throw at another, we are the first to be burned. Forgiveness is not for the other's peace, but for our own. When we forgive, we do not say what happened was right. We only say, "I choose to let go so I may suffer no more." In the Dhammapada, the Buddha taught, "Hatred never ceases by hatred, only by love is hatred ceased. Anger only breeds anger, hatred only breeds hatred. Only compassion and forgiveness can break the cycle of suffering. When we forgive, negative energy dissolves. The mind becomes light as clouds, the heart clear as a mirror." There is a story of two friends crossing a desert. Along the way, they quarreled, and one slapped the other. The one who was slapped silently bent down and wrote in the sand, "Today my friend hurt me." They kept walking until they found an oasis. The same man nearly drowned, but his friend saved him. When he recovered, he carved on a stone, "Today my friend saved me." The friend asked, "Why did you write in the sand when I hurt you, but carve in stone when I saved you?" He smiled, "Because I want the wind to blow away the hurt, but the good to be remembered. Forgiveness is like that. forgetting what is hurtful but remembering what is kind. Those who cannot forgive are still ruled by the past. Each time they recall old wounds, the heart aches again. But what good is it to let those who hurt us live rent-free in our minds? They may have long forgotten while we remain prisoners of our own pain. Forgiveness is opening the door of the prison we built ourselves. Forgiving is not easy. Sometimes we must cry many times, face our pain deeply. But each time we look at our wound with understanding, a part of resentment fades away. Forgiveness is a process. No need to rush, only to be sincere. Day by day, the heart grows lighter. Someone once asked a Zen master, "How can I forgive the one who caused me so much suffering?" The master replied, "Remember, those who make you suffer are suffering too. They act that way because their minds are not yet clear." When we realize others are also victims of ignorance, we no longer wish for revenge. Instead of anger, compassion arises, for only the wounded hurt others, and only the unawakened cause suffering. Forgiveness does not mean letting others continue to harm us. Forgiveness is to understand and release, not to forget or endure. When we forgive, we can still keep distance and protect ourselves, but our hearts hold no resentment. Forgiveness is wisdom, not weakness. Only the strong can let go of hatred. The weak cling to the past to prove they are right. When we learn forgiveness, we truly understand compassion. For compassion is not only helping others, but helping ourselves to be free from suffering. Those who cannot forgive are like people carrying bags of stones. The farther they go, the heavier it gets. Those who can forgive are like people who set the bags down, walking lightly, smiling under the morning sun. One day, when sitting quietly and looking back, we will see that everyone who hurt us was a teacher in this life. They taught us to understand, to love, to grow in spirit. When we realize that, we not only forgive them, but thank them, for they helped us become gentler, deeper, and freer. Forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves. When we truly let go of hatred, the mind becomes transparent. When the mind is clear, wisdom shines. When wisdom shines, peace arises. And in that peace, we realize no one truly caused our suffering. We only didn't yet know how to release it. Once we master the art of forgiveness, no matter how turbulent life becomes, we can still smile, for we have learned that peace does not come from others, but from a heart that knows love and forgiveness. Among all roots of suffering, the ego is the deepest. From it arise greed, anger, jealousy, blame, and fear. We suffer not because of the world, but because we cling to the image of I. I am right, I am good, I am important, I am hurt. The Buddha said, "The self is the greatest illusion." When we cling to the self, we build a wall between ourselves and life, isolating ourselves in our own suffering. The ego itself is not evil. It helps us function in the world, but without awareness, it becomes a prison. When praised, we rejoice. When criticized, we despair. When opposed, we rage. The mind rises and falls with every word and glance, for we take ourselves too seriously. The more we live by ego, the more fragile we become. But those who release the ego, their hearts are vast as the sky. There is a story. 2 monks were walking when they met a woman stuck at a stream. The younger monk hesitated, but the elder monk carried her across. Afterward, the younger monk could not contain himself. "Master, we are monks. How could you carry a woman?" The elder smiled. "I put her down at the riverbank. You are still carrying her." The younger monk awakened. Sometimes the ego is what keeps us clinging to what has long passed. Letting go of the ego does not mean belittling oneself, but living with humility and awareness. One who no longer clings to self finds everything light. When praised, they see it as the fruit of causes and conditions. When criticized, they see it as a chance to reflect. When they win, they are not proud. When they lose, they are not sad. Their mind is like a still lake. Even when stones are thrown, it soon returns to calm. In daily life, ego hides everywhere. In arguments to prove we are right, in wanting others to follow our will, in pride when corrected, or in petty competitions. Each time we defend I, we lose peace. Letting go of the ego is not easy, for it has been nurtured since childhood, but simply recognizing it means we have already begun the path of liberation. The Buddha taught that when we no longer see a separate self, we begin to see all beings as interconnected. When others are joyful, we rejoice. When others suffer, compassion arises. This state of mind is called non-self, where the boundaries between self and others dissolve, leaving only vast, loving kindness. Non-self does not mean losing oneself, but living in accordance with our pure nature, free from discrimination, conflict, and fear. Letting go of the ego is the process of looking deeply within. When someone angers us, instead of blaming them, we ask, "What in me has been touched?" When we see the fragile part of ourselves, the anger fades. When someone disappoints us, instead of thinking they are wrong, we ask, "Am I being too rigid?" Each moment like that, we are polishing away another corner of the ego. The more we polish, the brighter the heart becomes. Some may ask, if I have no ego, won't others take advantage of me? No. Without ego, we can still protect ourselves, not through anger, but with wisdom. The egoless are not weak. They simply have nothing to prove. When insulted, they smile, knowing the other is speaking from their own pain. When envied, they stay calm, knowing envy is only a reflection of someone else's emptiness. A person who lives without being ruled by ego is truly free. They need not be above anyone nor seek validation. They simply live true to their kind nature. And because they are no longer swept away by praise or blame, gain or loss, they remain serene amidst life. The larger the ego, the deeper the suffering. The smaller the ego, the greater the peace. Those who release the ego feel light, as if taking off heavy armor worn for too long. No more defense, no more striving to prove, no more pretending for approval. They simply live, sincere, gentle, and free. One day, looking back, we will see that every argument, every anger, every competition began with two words: the self. And when we learn to let it go, we no longer need to win because we have already conquered ourselves. We no longer need to prove because we already understand. We no longer need to protect because there is nothing to lose. Then within, only stillness remains, light as an early breeze, cool as dew upon the leaf. We see others with eyes of compassion, hear life with a quiet heart, and live freely amid the world like clouds across the sky. This is the ultimate freedom the Buddha called liberation, not somewhere far away, but beginning the moment we dare to let go of the ego and return to our true self. In this world, everyone wants to be recognized, respected, valued, but the higher we strive, the easier it is to fall into suffering, because life does not always bend to our will. The Buddha said, "The humble are closest to the way." When we know how to bow, when we cease to compete and prove, the mind becomes vast and peace arises naturally. The ancients said, "Water flows everywhere because it stays low." The more humble one becomes, the more they can receive and embrace. Those who always seek to stand above often end up lonely. For who wishes to stay beside someone who always wants to be greater? Humility does not make us small. It opens a vast space within the heart, where all things are seen through the light of understanding and compassion. Once a disciple asked a Zen master, "Master, I have studied the Dharma for years, yet I still feel no peace." The master replied, because you have learned to rise but not to bow. No, to learn to rise is to seek superiority. To learn to bow is to see one's smallness amid all conditions. When the heart sees itself as small, it becomes vast, for there is nothing left to hold or prove. Humility does not mean devaluing oneself, but letting go of arrogance. The humble are not weak, they are stronger than their own ego. They need not surpass others, for they already understand. They need not compete, for they already feel complete. Such humility is the foundation of wisdom and compassion. In life, we can see that truly kind people never raise their voices, yet their words move hearts. The virtuous do not flaunt, yet everyone feels peace around them. Conversely, those who boast are often weary, always straining to uphold an image. Humility is like a tree's shade. It says nothing, yet all who come near find rest. When we lower ourselves, we learn to yield. On life's road, to yield is to progress. Those who always demand to go first may move faster, but collide more and tire sooner. Those who step back a little find the sky wider, the path smoother. Many conflicts in families and workplaces exist because everyone wants to be right. But when one person chooses to yield, the battle ends. True strength is not in defeating others, but in stopping at the right time to preserve harmony. The Buddha said, "To not contend is great wisdom. To not argue is great compassion." The more spiritually mature one becomes, the less they feel the need to prove. They choose silence when misunderstood, a smile when attacked, not from fear but from clarity. All things pass, only peace remains. When we humble ourselves, we truly begin to learn from others. The arrogant never see anyone better than themselves and thus never grow. The humble, however, learn from everyone. A child, an elder, a stranger. They see everyone as a teacher, every moment as a lesson. Thus their hearts stay open and life becomes rich. A young monk was once sent to care for a small temple. At first, he was proud, looking down on the villagers for not knowing scriptures. But as he lived among them, he saw their kindness, honesty, and willingness to help one another. One day, hearing an old woman chant the Buddha's name incorrectly, he wanted to correct her but realized that her clumsy words were full of sincerity. He suddenly understood, sincerity matters more than form. From then on, he lived simply, teaching with humility. The temple soon filled with people, not because his dharma was lofty, but because his heart was kind. Those who are humble are not disturbed by praise or criticism. When praised, they know it is due to conditions. When criticized, they see it as a lesson. They feel no need to react, knowing all things pass like wind through leaves. Praise is but sound. Blame is but sound. When the heart is peaceful, even the wind becomes gentle. As we grow older, we should learn gentleness. We need not be right in everything, need not be understood by everyone, need not maintain a perfect image. We need only live kindly, live truthfully, live peacefully. When we are humble, others naturally feel drawn to us. For everyone cherishes those who are gentle, kind, unpretentious, and sincere. And then, when we truly learn how to be small, our hearts become immeasurably vast. We no longer cling to trivialities, fear loss, or see ourselves above others. We simply see life as beautiful, people as lovable, and each breath as a gift. In that moment, we have stepped onto the path of peace, the very path the Buddha walked, light, silent, and full of love. There is something very strange about life. Most of human suffering does not come from great events, but from small words. A single harsh remark, a judgment, or a reproach can be enough to disturb our peace all day. The Buddha taught, when the mouth is silent, the mind is calm. When the mind is calm, wisdom shines. Words can save others, but they can also wound. Therefore, learning the art of letting go of speech is learning how to keep our mind at peace. Today, people speak more than they listen and react faster than they think. When someone disagrees, we immediately respond. But the more we speak and argue, the more exhausted we become. For in argument, no one truly wins. The one who wins with words may lose peace, while the one who stays silent keeps serenity. Many refuse to let go because they think silence is weakness. Yet in truth, silence is the strength of the awakened. There is a story that tells, one day someone came and cursed the Buddha with harsh words. The Buddha simply stood silently and smiled. When the man grew tired and left, the Buddha asked his disciples, "If someone offers a gift and we do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" The disciples replied, "To the one who offered it." The Buddha said, "In the same way, since I did not accept his insults, they could not defile me." The story teaches that when we let go of words, their power fades. Without a reaction, conflict naturally dissolves. In life, we cannot stop others from speaking, but we can choose not to be shaken by their words. When someone criticizes us, instead of getting angry, we can ask, "Is there truth in what they say?" If yes, we correct ourselves. If not, we smile. There is no need to explain, for time and integrity will speak for us. The wise do not need many words, for they understand that everything, including praise and blame, is impermanent. When we learn to let go of speech, we will feel a lightness within. Meaningless debates end. We are no longer trapped in the loop of right and wrong. The Buddha said, "The foolish speak much, the wise remain silent." It is not that the wise cannot speak, but that they know which words are worth saying and when to say them. They do not speak to win, but to help. And when words are no longer needed, they choose silence. For in silence lies both wisdom and compassion. Letting go of speech does not mean staying mute forever, but knowing when to speak from peace. A word spoken from stillness can heal more than 1,000 eloquent ones. When someone is angry, instead of arguing, listen. When someone is wrong, wait until their heart has calmed before sharing. When someone insults you, remember, their anger speaks of their pain, not of you. If we react, we are allowing our own mind to be pulled into suffering. In a family, if even one person knows how to let go of speech, peace will arise. When the wife speaks harshly and the husband stays quiet, the storm passes. When parents are patient, children learn calmness. At work, if we stop arguing about who is right, conflict dissolves. Sometimes silence is worth more than 1,000 reasons. Letting go of speech is also a practice of mind. Each time we want to react, pause and take a deep breath. Ask yourself, will these words bring peace? If not, hold them back. Each time we do so, we win the most important battle, the one within ourselves. And with each victory, our heart grows stronger. The Buddha once said, "One who neither argues nor contends wins countless battles without fighting." When we no longer need to win with words, we transcend the smallness of ego. For arguments are merely the ego's way of seeking recognition. Those who understand need no proof. Those who do not will not understand even after 100 explanations. So instead of winning with words, win with the heart. One who stays silent in mindfulness is not weak, but sees clearly that all things are conditioned. Praise and blame, right and wrong, all will pass. Only peace remains. When we truly let go of speech, life becomes light and the mind bright. We no longer need to speak to be understood, for we already understand ourselves. We no longer need to speak to prove, for we see there is nothing to prove. And when we learn to be silent without being cold, to speak without being sharp, we will realize that true language does not lie in words, but in the energy of the heart. When our heart is kind, our words are graceful. When our heart is still, our words are gentle. And when our heart is filled with love, even a single sentence can ease countless pains around us. Letting go of speech is letting go of anger, ego, and conflict. When words are released, the mind returns to stillness, and in that stillness, we can hear the voice of the Dharma, the voice of wisdom, compassion, and peace already within our heart. Humans often live in two worlds, the past and the future. We remember what was lost and feel regret. We think about what has not yet come and feel worry. Thus, we rarely live in the present, the only place where life truly happens. The Buddha taught, do not chase the past, do not seek the future, but dwell peacefully in the present moment. For only now are we truly alive. The past is a shadow that has dissolved. The future is yet to arrive. Yet the human mind wanders between the two. When we recall the past, emotions arise: joy, sorrow, regret, resentment. When we imagine the future, anxiety arises: fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of what may come. Both cause us to forget the present, where all the conditions for happiness already exist. A man once asked a Zen master, "Master, how can I find peace?" The master replied, "Where are you?" The man said, "I am here." The master asked, "Are you sure you are really here?" The man was silent. The master said, "Your body is here, but your mind is wandering. When body and mind are in the same place, you will find peace." That saying is a bell of awakening. Peace is not found in a place, but in full presence. Reflect on your life. How many times have you sat with loved ones while thinking about work? How many times have you eaten a delicious meal without remembering its taste? How many times have you walked a familiar road without noticing how beautiful the sky was that day? We live, yet do not truly live, because our minds are always elsewhere. Living in the present is an art, the path back to ourselves. When we take a deep breath and know we are breathing in, that is meditation. When we chew and know we are eating, that is meditation. When we hear the rain and know we are listening, that is meditation. Meditation is not found only in temples or mountains. It is in each breath, each step, each moment of awareness. The Buddha taught, the past cannot be grasped, the future cannot be predicted. Only the present is real. All fear and worry arise when we forget the present. If we learn to return, to breathe with the moment, to look deeply into what is, we will see that everything is already okay. Only our mind has yet to rest. Someone once said, "I cannot find peace because my mind keeps wandering." The Zen master smiled. "That's fine, let it wander. Just don't follow it." The mind is like a river, always flowing, but if we can sit by the shore and simply observe without jumping in, we will see the water flow while we remain still. When we can watch our thoughts without being carried away by them, we have already begun to return home. Living in the present does not mean ignoring the future, but doing our best in this moment. When we plant a tree, we care for it, water it. That is the act of the present. The result depends on conditions. When we worry too much about tomorrow, we waste today. Yet today is the foundation of tomorrow. When we are truly present, everything becomes alive. We see that a flower is not just a flower, but a miracle of life unfolding. The song of a bird is not merely sound, but a message from nature. When we look at loved ones, we see not just their form, but love itself and the fragility of human life. Gratitude arises naturally then, and peace appears effortlessly. Living in the present also heals the wounds of the past. The past cannot be changed, but we can change how we see it, right here, right now. When we look with understanding, we see that everything had its reason. Old pain helped us grow, and loss taught us how to love. When we realize that, the pain of yesterday dissolves like morning mist under sunlight. Those who live in the present do not worry about the future, for they trust in cause and effect. Plant goodness today, and tomorrow will naturally bloom. They do not cling to the past, knowing all things are lessons. They live fully in each moment, doing their best in every small act, and each small act becomes a lotus in bloom. Remember, peace does not come when everything is perfect. It comes when we know how to rest within each breath and each moment. When the mind dwells in the present, time seems to stop, and only life remains, breathing, smiling. In that moment, we realize happiness was never far away. It is right here in the simple act of living, breathing, and smiling with life. In this noisy world, it grows harder to find true peace. Social media, news, work, pressure, all make our minds restless, like water in the wind. But the Buddha taught, keep the mind like still water. Even great winds can only ripple its surface. A calm mind does not mean a mind without waves, but one that knows how to stand firm amidst them. Our mind is originally clear like a mirror, but greed, anger, ignorance, worry, and fear cover it with dust. Just as a dusty mirror cannot reflect clearly, a clouded mind cannot shine. Thus, practice is not about seeking something new, but about wiping away the dust within. When the dust settles, our pure nature naturally appears. Someone asked, how can I keep my mind peaceful amid so many worries? The answer lies in two words: mindful awareness. When the mind knows what it is doing, thinking, and feeling, it takes a step toward purity. But when the mind is swept away by illusions, past regrets, future fears, anger, or attachment, we lose ourselves. Mindfulness is not distant or mystical. It is simple presence in each moment. When washing dishes, know you are washing dishes. When hearing rain, know you are hearing rain. When feeling anger, know you are angry. There is no need to push feelings away. Just see them clearly. When the light of awareness shines, the darkness of affliction disappears. To practice does not mean to withdraw from life, but to stay pure amid it. Like a lotus growing in mud yet unstained, the mindful person can remain calm in chaos. Even in hardship, those who return to their breath can find peace. The Buddha did not teach us to escape the world, but to live within it without being enslaved by it. Keeping a pure mind begins with knowing when to stop. When anger arises, stop. When judgment appears, stop. When competition stirs, stop. Each pause gives the mind rest. Each mindful breath is a homecoming. To stop is not weakness, it is wisdom. Only the wise know when to stop. The Buddha taught, the mind is like water. When it is disturbed, it cannot reflect the moon. When still, the moon appears perfectly. Likewise, when the mind is calm, we see the truth of all things. No one truly causes our suffering. It is our mind that creates it. No one truly takes our peace. It is we who let it go. When we see this clearly, we stop blaming, stop resenting, and turn inward to care for the mind. In modern life, we can keep our mind pure in many ways. First, by limiting what we feed it. Avoid excessive negativity, harmful words, or useless arguments. Second, by maintaining an inner space of rest. Spend a few minutes each day sitting quietly, breathing gently, letting the mind rest like a traveler beside a stream. Third, by doing good. When we think kind thoughts, speak kind words, and act kindly, the mind becomes naturally pure, for goodness is the clearest energy. Some think keeping a pure mind is for monks, but truly anyone can practice in daily life. When we refrain from anger with loved ones, we practice. When we smile instead of reacting, we practice. When we listen without judgment, we practice. Practice is not confined to temples. It lives in every way we breathe, act, and face ourselves. Those who keep a pure mind see life differently. They see seeds of happiness in suffering, growth in failure. They no longer regret the past or fear the future, for they rest in the present. And from that deep presence, they live each moment fully, unhurried, unburdened, unafraid. Keeping a pure mind is not easy, but not hard either. Each day, gently remind yourself, breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. When the mind returns to the breath, it returns to itself. And when we are truly home within, nothing outside can disturb us. One day, when we look around and see that the world is still noisy, but our heart is quietly still, that is the moment when the pure mind has blossomed. No one gives us peace, no one can take it away. Peace has always been within, waiting for us to return and care for it. When the mind is calm, everything is calm. When the mind is clear, life becomes as transparent as a dewdrop beneath the morning sun. One reason humans suffer is misunderstanding the law of cause and condition. When faced with misfortune, we often ask, why me? Why do I suffer even though I live kindly? But the Buddha taught that everything arises from cause and effect. Nothing happens by chance and nothing is without reason. Understanding this law is understanding how the universe operates. And when we see it clearly, we no longer blame or resent. We simply learn to live rightly. Every seed we plant, through thought, word, or action, leaves an imprint on the mind, called karma. When conditions ripen, that karma bears fruit. Plant goodness, reap joy. Plant harm, reap pain. The fruit may not appear immediately. It may come tomorrow, next year, or even in another life. Thus, those who understand the Dharma do not see life only through the present, but through the continuous stream of cause and effect unfolding. Some people do good deeds, yet encounter misfortune, and they lament, "Why is heaven unfair?" But the Buddha taught that it is not unfairness. It is a deeper justice that humans are not yet wise enough to see. The good we plant today may bloom in the future, while present suffering may be the fruit of old seeds sown long ago. When we understand this, we stop blaming life and begin to transform. One who understands cause and effect will not ask, "Why do I suffer?" but rather, "What have I planted that led me here?" And upon seeing it, they do not condemn themselves. They simply begin anew. Like a field, if we want a better harvest next season, we need not curse the last one. We simply till the soil again and plant wholesome seeds. Every kind thought, every truthful word, every kind action, each is a seed of merit. When enough are sown, the fruit will ripen. There is a story. A farmer faced hardship year after year. His crops failed, his children fell ill. He came to a monk and lamented, "I must be cursed. Heaven must hate me." The monk smiled and asked, "When you sow rice, do you care for it?" "No," said the farmer, "I was too busy." The monk replied, "Then how can you expect a good harvest? Karma works the same way. You must nurture the good you sow with a kind heart each day, for it to bear good fruit." From then on, the man stopped blaming fate and focused on cultivating virtue. Years later, his life changed, not by miracle, but by understanding the law of cause and condition and living in harmony with it. Those who do not understand karma live with complaint. Why do I suffer more than others? But those who see clearly understand, no one suffers more than another. Each is simply repaying different debts. When our debts are repaid, life becomes lighter. When we cling, karma pulls us back. Knowing this, we no longer blame those who hurt us, for they are merely the conditions through which our old karma unfolds. If we can endure without anger, that karma ends. But if we resent, we plant new seeds. The Buddha taught, "When someone causes you pain, do not ask why. Ask what you can learn. Perhaps they came to teach you patience or to soften your pride. Every person, every event is a lesson arranged by karma. When we understand this, we feel gratitude instead of resentment. Understanding cause and effect does not make us fearful, it makes us awake. For we realize everything lies in our own hands. To be happy, plant seeds of happiness. To find peace, plant seeds of peace. To end suffering, do not sow words or deeds that harm others. There is no need to seek luck, only to practice goodness. No need to fear karma, only to understand it. Once understood, we are no longer driven by it. We can transform it. In daily life, let karma be your compass. Before speaking, ask, will this word bring harm or kindness? Before acting, ask, will this deed create merit or suffering? When the mind pauses before each act, karma begins to shift. When we do good without expectation, merit deepens even more. Those who understand cause and condition live lightly, like clouds. They neither blame nor fear, knowing that everything arrives on time. When suffering comes, they do not flee, knowing it is time to repay. When joy comes, they do not cling, knowing it is simply the fruit of goodness ripened. They live in the world with calmness, like one watching rain from the porch, knowing that rain will pass, the sun will rise, and everything is as it should be. When we deeply understand karma and cause, we stop asking, why do I suffer, and begin to say, thank you, life, for teaching me this lesson. When the heart stops blaming, peace arises. When the mind stops resenting, clarity shines. And when wisdom sees cause and effect clearly, we live each day with mindfulness and kindness, knowing that every small act today is a seed of tomorrow's joy. In life, everyone has something they wish to hold on to, a person, a memory, an unfinished dream. But the Buddha said, letting go is not losing, it is freedom. We suffer not because of loss, but because we cannot release. When we grasp sand tightly in our fist, the harder we squeeze, the more it slips away. When we cling to what has passed, the tighter we hold, the more it hurts. Letting go is not indifference nor avoidance. It is understanding that some things must leave so others may come. Just as a tree must shed its leaves for spring to bring new buds, the one who lets go is not heartless, but wise enough to see the impermanence of all things. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha taught, all suffering arises from attachment. When we cling to ego, to loved ones, to desires, we tie a rope around ourselves. The tighter we pull, the harder it becomes to breathe. But when we release, the rope breaks and freedom returns. Letting go is remembering the vast sky we forgot while clutching at clouds. There is a story of Lan, a woman who carried resentment for many years after being betrayed by her best friend. One day at the temple, a monk handed her a cup of hot tea and said, "Hold it tightly." At first, it felt warm, but soon it burned her hand. The monk said, "You see, the pain is not from the tea. It is from your refusal to let go. When it hurts enough, you will release it yourself." Tears fell from her eyes. She understood then that letting go is not forgiving others. It is saving oneself. Those who cannot let go are like those who hold a burning coal and blame the fire for hurting them. We think holding on is love, but it is possession. True love sets others free. It wishes them peace even as they walk away. Love is not a chain, it is an open door. When we love without demand, we have learned the greatest lesson of compassion. Letting go is also how we grow. Losing something is not the end, it is transformation. Losing a person teaches us deeper love. Losing a job teaches resilience. Losing faith teaches us to return to ourselves. Every loss seen with awareness becomes a precious teacher. In life, no one can let go of everything in one day. Letting go is a process. Today we release a little anger, tomorrow a little fear, the next day a little regret. Each release lightens the heart. One day, looking back, we find peace. No longer aching, no longer clinging. Only gratitude for what once was. Someone once asked, "If I let go of everything, does that make me weak?" The Buddha replied, "The weak fear loss, the strong know nothing truly belongs to them. Even this body must return to the earth. What then can we really hold?" Understanding this, the heart opens wide. The wise do not cling to prove their worth. They are serene like the sky, welcoming all who come, smiling as all who leave. Letting go does not mean giving up. On the contrary, to let go is to know when to stop, so the heart can be free to move forward. Just as a boat must release its anchor to sail, and a bird must let go of the branch to fly, when we let go, we lose nothing, only the burdens we have carried for too long. In daily practice, we can learn to let go in the simplest way. Breathing in, be aware, I am breathing in. Breathing out, gently whisper, I release. Each breath is a moment of release, a return to peace. When the mind becomes accustomed to letting go, it no longer trembles between gain and loss, victory and defeat. One who knows how to let go sees life as a flowing river. When the water passes, let it go, for it cannot flow backward. Those who do not know how to let go try to hold, to resist, and end up suffering. Life is like that, always changing, always moving. When we accept this, peace arises naturally. Letting go is the art of wisdom. Only those who deeply understand impermanence can smile in the face of loss. They know that when one door closes, another opens. When one person leaves, another karmic connection arrives. When one thing dissolves, something new begins to form. The world always moves in this rhythm. Only our mind resists. When we let go, we return to our innate freedom. When we let go, we see that life remains beautiful, even when it is no longer the same. And when we let go, we understand that happiness was never in holding on, but in knowing when to release. For only when the heart is light can our steps be free, and only then can the smile truly blossom amid life's constant change. When people hear the word letting go, many fear it means indifference to life. But in Buddhism, letting go does not mean apathy or weakness. It means living in harmony with causes and conditions, neither forcing what isn't ours nor fleeing what we must face. The Buddha taught, flow with conditions but do not surrender to fate. Act without attachment. This is the wisdom of the awakened. Life is always shifting. Sometimes everything flows smoothly like water downstream. Other times the current is rough and the wind strong. Those without understanding struggle with every change, blaming heaven and others. But those who live with awareness know that all things come and go according to cause and condition, not early, not late, not too much, not too little. Therefore, they do not fear or worry. They calmly welcome each change as a natural part of life. In the Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha said, all conditioned things are impermanent. When we truly see this, suffering loses its grip. Everything, people, emotions, things, changes. Today's joy may be tomorrow's tears. Today's loved one may depart tomorrow. When we understand impermanence, we no longer cling or fear loss. For we know, what arises will cease. What is born will fade. Living with conditions does not mean waiting idly for fortune. It means acting wholeheartedly in the present, yet unbound by the result. We plant seeds of goodness with all our heart, but we do not demand that they bear fruit our way. We love sincerely, but do not insist on love being returned exactly as we wish. When we can do this, our hearts are light and our merit deep. There was once a man named Long, an engineer at a large company. After years of service, he was laid off when the company restructured. He was devastated, feeling as though the world had collapsed. One morning, weary and lost, He heard the sound of temple bells echoing through the mist and stopped. The monk said, "Some things do not leave because they end, but because they are making room for what is to come. If you keep holding on to the old, how can the new find space to enter?" Those words lit a lamp in his heart. He realized that what he needed was not to fight fate, but to accept it with trust in the law of cause and condition. From then on, he practiced meditation each morning, clearing his mind as one clears a room after a storm. One day, he joined a charity trip to a remote mountain village. Seeing the smiles of poor children, he suddenly understood he could still contribute, just in a different way. Later, he became a humanitarian project coordinator. He said, "If I hadn't lost my job, I would have remained trapped in comparison and ambition. I lost a job, but I found myself." His story is proof that accepting karma opens the path to peace. Living in accordance with conditions is not resignation, but knowing when to move forward and when to rest. When karma ripens, give your all. When it fades, smile and let go. No forcing, no clinging. Those who live this way can stand amid storms and still smile, because they know nothing is ever truly lost. Everything is transforming. Look at a flower. When its time comes, it blooms beautifully. When the time passes, it closes and returns to the earth. If it clings to its beauty, it withers. But by following nature, it remains beautiful even as it falls. Life is the same. When we flow with impermanence, we live as gently as falling petals, as free as the wind. One who lives by conditions is not passive, for they live fully in every moment. Yet their mind is unbound by results, unafraid of gain or loss, without resentment or demand. When they have, they are grateful. When they lose, they smile. When they meet others, they open their hearts. When they part, they bow in gratitude. Such is the freedom of one who walks in peace through the world. Living by conditions is also a form of wise letting go. It does not make us lazy, but helps us see clearly what is ours to do and what must be left to time and karma. Those who live this way need not chase anyone or prove anything. They live sincerely, kindly, wholeheartedly, and let life unfold as it will. When we understand conditions, we stop fighting life. Each event that comes and goes, each person who arrives and departs, is like the wind passing over a lake. The lake does not hold the wind, and the wind does not cling to the lake. All remains at peace. That is the heart of freedom, the heart of one truly alive. And one day, looking back, we will see that what we thought were losses were actually gifts. Those who once caused us pain came to teach us love. What seemed like endings were merely new beginnings. When we understand this, the heart rests, the steps lighten, and with each breath we feel clearly. Everything is in its right place, and we need only dwell peacefully in this very moment. All of the Buddha's teachings lead to one word: mindfulness, because mindfulness is the lamp that illuminates the mind, the bridge between suffering and peace. Without mindfulness, we live like sleepwalkers, chasing thoughts, emotions, and circumstances, losing ourselves along the way. But with mindfulness, we awaken. We see clearly what the body is doing, what the mind is thinking, where emotions arise. And in that very seeing, peace appears. The Buddha said, "One who is mindful is truly alive." Why? Because only when the mind knows it is here in this present moment can we live fully with life itself. The past is gone, the future not yet come. Only the present is real. Yet most people forget this precious moment, wandering between two shores of illusion. When we eat, our mind is elsewhere. When we speak, we do not hear ourselves. When we walk, our mind has already run ahead. This forgetfulness makes us anxious, weary, and disconnected from ourselves. Mindfulness is not something lofty or distant. It is the simple awareness within each small act. When we drink a cup of tea, know that we are drinking tea. When we hear a bird singing, know that we are hearing. When we smile at someone, know that we are offering joy. Mindfulness does not add anything new to life, but it makes everything clearer, lighter, and more profound. A Zen master once said, "If you wash the dishes thinking only of drinking tea, you will lose both the dishes and the tea." The saying seems simple, yet it contains the essence of meditation practice. Each time the mind wanders, we lose our life. But when we are truly present, even the most ordinary acts become sacred. When we work with mindfulness, work ceases to be a burden. When we speak mindfully, our words become seeds of goodness planted in others' hearts. Mindfulness is not forcing the mind to stop thinking. It is knowing that we are thinking. When angry, know we are angry. When sad, know we are sad. When anxious, know we are anxious. The moment awareness appears, the darkness of ignorance fades. Anger cannot harm us if we simply observe it without feeding it. Sadness, fear, jealousy, hatred, they are all waves. When we stand on the shore of mindfulness, we are no longer swept away. One who lives mindfully listens to both body and mind. When the body is tired, they rest. When the mind is tense, they release. They neither chase expectations nor avoid life. They live each moment fully, with the understanding that everything is as it is, and from that way of living, peace naturally radiates. In a busy world, mindfulness is the path home. When walking, slow down. When speaking, say less but mean more. When eating, chew carefully, savor each flavor, and feel gratitude for what sustains us. That alone can transform life, because when mindfulness is present, we are no longer trapped in the whirlpool of gain and loss, but see all things through the clear eyes of wisdom. Someone once said, "I don't have time to meditate." The master smiled. "You don't need more time, only more presence." Mindfulness is not separate from life. It is life lived with awareness. When cooking, you can meditate. When driving, you can meditate. When caring for your child, you can meditate. Meditation is not sitting still. It is living fully in each moment. One day, when we truly live mindfully, we will see miracles everywhere, in the breath, in the light, in a stranger's smile, in the sound of the wind through the window. All of these are Dharma teachings, reminders that life is unfolding and that we are alive. Mindfulness is also the key that opens the door to liberation. All suffering arises when we forget. When we lose ourselves, we are led by anger, greed, and fear. But when we remember ourselves, we return to the stillness that has always been within. Then, whether in the marketplace or on the mountain, whether working or resting, we remain in meditation. The Buddha taught, mindfulness is the one path to liberation. When mindfulness is present, we know what to do, what to stop, what to say, what to release. We are no longer pulled by the world, but guided by the voice of inner wisdom. Then life is no longer a burden to endure, but a journey to experience and awaken. Practice this each day, each hour. Every morning, sit quietly for a few moments. Breathe softly and tell yourself, "Today, I will live fully." Then throughout the day, whatever comes, meet it with awareness. When we live this way, we will realize that peace has never been far away. It has always been waiting for us in each breath, each step, each moment of now. This is the path the Buddha walked, simple, profound, and filled with love. When we walk this path with mindfulness, we not only find peace for ourselves, but also spread that light to those around us. For peace, in the end, is not a destination, but the way we walk this very journey of life. After all the Buddha's teachings on impermanence, letting go, and mindfulness, we come to one simple, profound truth. When the mind is peaceful, all is peaceful. The mind is the root. If the mind is restless, no scenery, however beautiful, can bring peace. But if the mind is still, even amid storms, we can smile. The world is only a mirror of the heart. When we see chaos outside, it means our heart is disturbed. When we see harmony, it means the light of peace has arisen within. The Buddha taught, the mind is the master. The mind creates, the mind leads all things. Within that single line lies the universe. All joy and sorrow, gain and loss, love and hate, all begin from the mind. When we see through a narrow mind, small things become great. When we see through a vast mind, great things become small. The mind is like a lens. Adjust its angle and the world changes. Someone asked, how can I keep a peaceful mind in this turbulent world? The Buddha answered, understand, love, and release. When we understand, we stop blaming. When we love, we stop being angry. When we release, we stop suffering. These three are the doors leading us home to inner peace. The awakened do not seek peace outside, but return within. They do not wish for the world to be calm, knowing the world is waves. They only wish for the mind not to be disturbed. They do not seek others to change, for others are mirrors reflecting themselves. When we are calm, everything around us softens. To keep a peaceful mind does not mean to avoid life. On the contrary, those with peace live life most fully. They work wholeheartedly but are not bound by results. They love deeply but are not ruled by emotion. They speak truthfully but are not hurt by others' words. They are like water, soft, pure, always flowing toward the light. Someone said, I want peace, but life has too many worries. The Buddha taught, peace does not come from a life without turmoil, but from a heart that does not waver amid it. Like the deep ocean, though waves roll on the surface, its depths remain still. When we keep that stillness within, no storm can sweep us away. The mind is peaceful when we live with simplicity. The less we crave, the less we fear. When we know enough, we are always rich, not in possessions, but in contentment. A simple meal, a fresh morning, a gentle smile. When met with awareness, they are already happiness itself. The mind is at peace when we learn to forgive. Holding grudges only weighs the heart down. Forgiveness is untying the knots within ourselves. When we release the past, the present becomes bright, like someone carrying a heavy bag of stones. Once they set it down, their steps become light. The mind is at peace when we look at others with compassion. Everyone carries some form of suffering. An angry person is hurting. A selfish person is afraid. When we understand this, judgment fades and compassion arises. Compassion does not mean approving of what is wrong. It means not letting hatred poison the heart. The mind is at peace when we live mindfully. Each morning when we open our eyes, know that we are breathing. Each time we eat, know that we are eating. Each time we speak, know that we are speaking. These small acts are the path back to great peace. For when the mind rests in the present, it is no longer pulled by past or future. The mind is at peace when we trust the law of cause and effect. Sow goodness, reap goodness. Sow suffering, reap suffering. When we understand this, we stop fearing what may come and focus instead on planting good seeds each day. No blame, no regret, no complaint. And the mind is at peace when we can release what is beyond our control. Some things will not change no matter how hard we try. Some people, no matter how much we love them, must leave. Instead of forcing, smile gently and say, the karma has come full circle. It is enough. Then the heart becomes light as clouds, peaceful as flowing water. When the mind is peaceful, we no longer need to seek peace elsewhere. Peace is not in the high mountains, nor in the monastery. It is right here, in each breath. Breathing in, we feel calm. Breathing out, we feel light. Just that, and the world around us transforms. Life will still have joy and sorrow, gain and loss. But to one with a peaceful mind, they are only passing waves. They do not run, cling, or resent. They simply live, breathe, smile, and see the world through the clear eyes of wisdom. When we truly understand that the mind is the root of all happiness, we stop searching outside. We simply return within, nourishing the mind with understanding and compassion. And when the mind is calm, we see clearly. It is not life that must change for us to be happy. It is only our perception that needs to shift. Then life itself becomes peaceful. And this is the very spirit of Dharma in Motion, the journey back to the heart, living mindfully amid the flow of life, where each step, each breath is a blooming lotus, spreading the fragrance of peace and wisdom in a changing world. Thank you for staying with us until the end of this journey. If today's Dharma teachings have brought you a moment of calm amid life's turbulence, please take a second to like, subscribe to Dharma in Motion, and share this video with those you love. Each share is a seed of goodness, helping the light of mindfulness reach a little further into the world. See you again in the next talk, where we continue walking together on the path of awakening, slowly, deeply, and with love. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha.